Learning to speak English better can open many doors in your life. It helps you connect with people, find new opportunities, and feel more confident every day. But improving your English speaking skills isn't always easy. It takes practice, patience, and the right steps. This guide will show you clear and simple ways to speak English more naturally and confidently. You'll discover practical tips that you can start using right away, whether you're at home, at work, or out with friends. By the end, you'll feel ready to speak up, share your thoughts, and keep growing every day. Stick with it, and you'll see how trusting yourself and practicing regularly can change the way you speak and the way you feel. This is your chance to make real progress and enjoy speaking English more than ever before. Chapter 1. Speak English daily with full focus and intention. Most people want to speak English better, but very few commit to doing it every single day with full focus and clear intention. This is the difference between those who stay stuck for years and those who grow steadily, confidently, and permanently. Speaking English is not about talent. It is not about having studied for years or memorizing every grammar rule. It is about discipline. It is about showing up. It is about doing something small, something simple, every single day, without excuse. If you want to speak English fluently, clearly and confidently, you must speak it daily, not just when it's convenient, not just when you're in the mood, but as a core part of your routine, as important as eating or breathing. Speaking English daily is not just a language practice, it is a personal commitment. It is a decision to break through fear, discomfort, and self-doubt. It's how you take back your power from hesitation. Every time you speak with intention, even if it's only to yourself, you train your brain, your mouth, your ears, and your confidence to work together. The problem for most learners is not lack of knowledge. They know the words, they understand the sentences, but when it comes to speaking, their mind freezes, their voice trembles, their words disappear. Why? Because they never built the habit of speaking, and more importantly, they never trained themselves to speak with attention, with presence, and with clarity. You cannot improve what you do not do regularly. One day of speaking will not change your life, but 100 days of consistent speaking will. If you truly want to speak better, you have to treat English like a skill, not a subject. Subjects are studied, skills are practiced. Reading about swimming is not swimming. Reading about speaking is not speaking. You must open your mouth, you must hear your own voice, you must make mistakes, and you must get used to them. Every mistake is part of your training. Every hesitation is an opportunity to breathe and try again. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. The only way to improve is to begin today, right now, and to keep going even when it's hard. To speak with focus means to be fully present in what you are saying. It means that for a few minutes each day, you are not thinking about your phone, your to-do list, or your doubts. You are simply speaking, listening to yourself, and noticing how you sound. This is where growth begins, not in perfection, but in awareness. When you pay attention, you begin to hear your habits. You begin to catch the words you always forget. You begin to notice the sentences you always avoid. And once you notice, you can change. Speaking daily with focus is not about speaking fast. It's about speaking clearly. It's about making progress, not performing. Intention is the fuel of progress. When you speak with intention, you are not just making noise. You are speaking with purpose. You are saying, I am here to improve. You are saying, this matters to me, and that energy changes everything. It makes your practice real. It makes your effort consistent. It reminds you why you started. You don't need perfect grammar to speak with intention. You don't need fancy words. You only need presence. You need honesty. You need courage. And every time you show up and speak, you become stronger, you become clearer, you become more connected to the English that lives inside you. Daily speaking is not just about quantity, it's about quality. 10 minutes of focused speaking is more powerful than 1 hour of distracted speaking. So instead of waiting for the perfect situation, create your own. Speak about your day while brushing your teeth. Describe what you see around you while walking. Explain your thoughts aloud as you prepare breakfast. These moments are simple, but they add up. They build your fluency muscle. They build your confidence. They build your identity as someone who speaks English, not just studies it. You must stop thinking that you are not good enough to speak. Speaking is how you become good enough. Speaking is how you earn your voice, and your voice is valuable, even if it's not perfect. The truth is, perfection is not the goal. Progress is, expression is, communication is. If you can make someone understand you, even in simple words, you are succeeding. If you can express your feelings, your thoughts, your ideas in your own way, you are growing. Do not let shame stop you. Do not let comparison silence you. Speak your English, however broken it may be. Broken English, spoken with courage, is far more powerful than perfect English, never spoken. There will be days when you don't feel like speaking. Speak anyway. There will be days when you feel tired, busy, or unmotivated. Speak anyway. On those days, even one sentence matters. Even a few words matter. What you are building is not just language skill. You are building discipline. You are building a habit that will carry you through your doubts, your fears, and your obstacles. The strongest people are not the ones who never feel weak. They are the ones who show up even when they do. Speak English every day, even when you don't want to. That is how you grow. If you are shy, speak to yourself. If you are nervous, record your voice and listen to it. If you are afraid of judgment, speak in private until you're ready to speak in public. You do not need an audience to improve. You only need a decision. Every person who became fluent started where you are. They were unsure. They were scared. But they chose to try. They chose to speak. And slowly, their courage turned into skill. Their confusion turned into clarity. Your journey will be the same if you keep going. Do not focus on how bad you sound. Focus on how brave you are. Focus on the fact that you are doing what most people avoid. You are taking action, and action creates change. Every word you speak is a step forward. Every sentence is a sign of your growth, and the more you speak, the more you discover your own rhythm. You learn which words feel natural. You learn how to explain your thoughts. You learn how to stay calm when you forget something. All of this comes from doing, not from watching, not from waiting, from doing. When you speak English daily, you are not just learning a language. You are learning discipline. You are learning how to commit to something important. You are learning how to stay consistent, even when progress feels slow. And this habit will help you in every area of life. Speaking daily will teach you patience. It will teach you confidence. It will teach you how to trust your own voice, even when it shakes. And over time, you will begin to see yourself differently. You will no longer say, "I can't speak English." You will say, "I'm improving every day." To make your practice effective, set a clear time each day when you will speak. Make it short and realistic. 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before bed. You do not need a big commitment. You need a consistent one. Choose a simple topic. Talk about your plans for the day. Describe what you learned. Speak about your goals. Imagine conversations. Role-play situations. Say the same sentence in different ways. Keep it simple. Keep it steady. Make it a part of who you are. Also, keep a speaking journal. Write down the words you struggled with. Write down the topics you want to speak about. Reflect on your daily speaking practice. This will keep you honest. It will keep you focused. It will keep you motivated. Growth is not always visible, but with time, it becomes undeniable. You will find yourself understanding more, hesitating less, and expressing yourself more naturally. If you ever feel like giving up, remember this: speaking is not about talent. It is about repetition. It is about presence. It is about effort. If you can give yourself to this process each day, even in small moments, you will change, you will improve, you will succeed. But only if you keep speaking, only if you keep showing up. Speak English daily, with full focus and intention. Do it not just to learn a language, but to master yourself. Do it not just for fluency, but for confidence. Do it to prove to yourself that you are capable of growth, of change, of persistence. Speak with purpose. Speak with courage. Speak with love for your own future. And no matter where you begin, keep going. One word at a time. One day at a time. That is how real transformation begins. And that is how it lasts. Chapter 2. Listen actively to English conversations every single day. Listening is the doorway to speaking, and the more attention you give to what you hear, the faster your progress becomes real. The problem most people face when learning English is not that they don't hear the language often, but that they don't listen to it with their full mind. Passive hearing creates no change. You can sit through countless podcasts, watch hundreds of videos, and still speak with hesitation if your mind is not actively involved in the process. What matters is how you listen, how deeply you pay attention, and how much of that experience you absorb. Real improvement begins when you start treating listening not as entertainment, but as a discipline. Active listening is a conscious act. It is deliberate. It means you are not just catching words, you are noticing the structure, the emotion, the pauses, the way one idea connects to the next. You are noticing pronunciation, speed, and tone. You are asking yourself, what do I understand, and what is the speaker really saying? When you train your ear to listen with purpose, you open up a new level of learning that no textbook can give you. You begin to feel the language, not just translate it. You start to think with it, not just about it. You become more aware of patterns, phrases, and expressions that you can later use yourself. The difference between someone who learns slowly and someone who grows rapidly often lies in this one habit: daily, focused, active listening. This is not something you leave to chance. It's something you plan. It's something you respect. Just like going to the gym strengthens the body, active listening strengthens your mind and sharpens your understanding. When you hear the language daily in a way that fully engages your attention, you build familiarity, you reduce fear, you stop feeling like an outsider to the language, and eventually, the language begins to live inside you. Choose the right material. Start with something just a little above your current level. Not too difficult, not too easy. If it's too hard, your mind will switch off. If it's too easy, you won't grow. Focus on English that is spoken clearly and naturally. Interviews, discussions, slow English videos, simple news reports, or even everyday conversations. Don't chase speed. Chase clarity. Even 5 minutes of focused listening each day, done with care and repetition, can move you forward more than hours of passive exposure. Once you find your material, listen to it more than once. The first time is for understanding the message. The second time is for catching new words or expressions. The third time is to focus on pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. With each repetition, you get deeper into the language. You start to notice things that were invisible before. That's what active listening does. It reveals the layers beneath the surface, and those layers are what help you become fluent. Stop trying to understand every single word. That's not how native speakers even listen. Focus on the meaning. Try to grasp the whole picture. Guess what unknown words mean from context. This skill will help you more than running to a dictionary every time. The more you listen, without panicking about unfamiliar words, the more your brain adapts to the natural flow of the language. You train yourself to stay calm, to stay engaged, and to keep learning even when you don't understand everything. Listen with your eyes as well as your ears. Watch the speaker's mouth. Watch their body language. Listen to how their emotions shape their words. Language is not just sound, it's feeling. When you learn to feel the emotion behind the words, your connection to English becomes more human, more alive. This connection builds intuition. It allows you to understand and later respond in a way that feels real and effortless. Take notes. Write down phrases or expressions that stand out to you. Write down full sentences if you can. These notes are not just for memory. They help you slow down your thinking and interact with the material more deeply. Later, speak those sentences aloud. Practice using them in your own examples. This is how you move from input to output, from listening to speaking, and that's how transformation begins. Do not multitask while listening. Do not wash dishes, scroll your phone, or walk through busy streets thinking of something else. Give your full attention to what you're hearing. Active listening is not background noise, it's a mental workout. If your mind is somewhere else, the benefits disappear. Focus is everything. You will find that even short periods of focused listening can be more powerful than long periods of distracted listening. And this teaches you the most valuable skill of all, how to be present. Repeat after the speaker. Pause the audio and mimic the tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. Try to match not just the words, but the energy behind them. This shadowing technique connects your listening and speaking skills. It strengthens your memory, your pronunciation, and your confidence. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but with time it becomes easier. Your brain and mouth begin to work together more smoothly, and your voice begins to sound more natural. Record yourself shadowing and compare it to the original. Don't do this to criticize yourself. Do it to understand your progress. Notice what you got right. Notice where you need to improve. This reflection builds awareness, and awareness creates growth. Improvement is not about doing everything right. It's about noticing what you didn't see before and taking small steps forward each day. Make your listening environment personal and comfortable. Find a quiet place. Use good headphones. Give yourself space to concentrate. If your environment supports your focus, your results will follow. Small things like setting a daily reminder, creating a playlist, or keeping a listening log can turn this practice into a habit, and habits are what carry you when motivation fades. Seek what you hear. Don't keep the language trapped inside. After listening, summarize what you heard in your own words. Speak it out loud. This connects your comprehension to expression. It teaches your brain not just to receive, but to respond. And in conversation, this skill is everything. The goal is not to be a perfect listener. The goal is to become an active participant in English. Someone who understands and responds with confidence. If you listen deeply every day, your speaking will naturally improve. Your vocabulary will grow, your sentences will become smoother, and your fear will begin to fade. You will no longer be surprised by the way native speakers talk. You will no longer feel like English is something foreign. You will start to feel it as something you can live in, something you belong to, something that belongs to you. This is not about speed. This is about steady, intentional practice. One focused session a day can transform your relationship with English, not overnight, but over time. You will notice that you can follow conversations more easily. You will understand jokes, emotions, tone, and with that understanding comes the confidence to join the conversation. Your daily commitment to listening is a promise to yourself, a promise that you are serious about your growth, that you are not waiting for permission or perfection. You are showing up, and that is enough. Every minute you listen, with your full heart and full mind, you are building something stronger than fluency. You are building character. You are building patience. You are building a mindset that keeps moving forward, no matter what. Listen actively to English conversations every single day, not because someone told you to, but because you believe in your future, because you know that growth is not about shortcuts, it's about consistency, effort and attention. Every voice you listen to is teaching you something. Every sentence is a brick in the foundation of your fluency. Keep listening. Keep learning. Keep showing up. The change is already happening inside you. Chapter 3. Read simple English books aloud with steady confidence. Reading aloud is one of the most direct and effective ways to develop your English speaking skills. It is simple, accessible, and completely within your control. Yet, most learners overlook this practice, not realizing how powerful it can be. When you read aloud every day with steady confidence, you strengthen your speaking muscles, sharpen your pronunciation, and train your brain to connect language with expression. You are not just reading words, you are speaking them into your memory, into your body, and into your voice. This habit builds a deep sense of ownership over the language. It helps you stop being a passive learner and become someone who uses English actively, clearly, and fearlessly. Confidence does not come from wishing, it comes from doing. When you read aloud, you train your voice to become steady. You get used to the sound of English coming from your own mouth. You begin to notice the patterns of the language, the flow of sentences, the rise and fall of tone. These are things you cannot fully absorb just by reading silently or listening to others. You must feel them. You must experience them directly through your own speech. Reading aloud helps you build that experience in a calm, safe, and structured way. Start with simple books that match your current level. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to improve step by step. Choose stories that are written in clear, everyday English. Pick materials that interest you. It could be short novels, dialogues, graded readers, or even children's books. Simplicity is your friend in the beginning, because it allows you to focus more on speaking smoothly rather than struggling with complex vocabulary. The more you enjoy what you read, the more you will want to do it again, and the more you do it, the stronger your fluency becomes. Make reading aloud a part of your daily schedule. Set a time that works for you and stick to it, even if it's just 10 minutes. Stand or sit with a good posture. Hold the book in your hands. Read slowly. Don't rush. Focus on how the words feel as you say them. Observe your pronunciation. Listen to your breath. Pay attention to your pauses. If something is hard to say, go back and say it again. Repeat it until it feels comfortable. This is not about getting through the book quickly. It's about training your speaking system, your mouth, your breath, your rhythm, to handle English with greater control and clarity. When you read aloud, you are practicing so many skills at once: word recognition, pronunciation, sentence stress, intonation, and emotional expression. You are developing fluency and understanding at the same time. This is a full workout for your voice and your brain. And unlike conversation, there is no pressure. There is no fear of making mistakes in front of others. You are free to experiment, to repeat, to explore your voice without judgment. This freedom builds your internal strength. It teaches you how to trust yourself and how to speak without fear. Record yourself reading once or twice a week. Not to criticize, but to observe. Play it back and listen closely. Where do you sound confident? Where do you hesitate? What can you improve? Over time, you will hear clear progress. You will sound more fluent, more relaxed, more natural. This process of listening to your own voice helps you take control of your development. It brings awareness to areas that need attention and allows you to see how far you've come. Growth is not always obvious in the moment, but recordings give you proof that your effort is working. Reading aloud also helps you build your vocabulary naturally. When you say new words out loud, you remember them more easily. Your brain connects sound with meaning, and your muscle memory begins to store the way those words are pronounced. You also start to notice how words are used in real contexts, how they form expressions, how they fit into everyday situations. This is how you move from isolated words to real communication. And that's what fluency is, being able to use what you know with confidence and accuracy. As you continue this habit, your mouth will become more comfortable with the sounds of English. The awkwardness will fade. The fear will shrink. You will be able to read full pages without stumbling. You will feel the improvement in your day-to-day speaking. Suddenly, phrases will come more naturally. Sentences will be easier to form. You will no longer hesitate as much because your brain has already practiced those patterns out loud. Reading aloud is the bridge between knowing English in your mind and expressing it through your voice. You may feel awkward at first. That's normal. Every new habit feels strange in the beginning. But do not let discomfort stop you. Keep going. Push through the awkwardness with calm and discipline. Your courage will grow, your speech will smooth out, and most importantly, your belief in yourself will begin to strengthen. That belief is what will carry you forward. Reading aloud is not just about language, it's about personal growth. It's about showing yourself that you can stay committed, even when no one is watching. You don't need perfect grammar to start. You don't need a native accent. You don't need advanced vocabulary. You only need the willingness to show up, the patience to repeat, and the faith that small steps lead to big changes. Choose one book. Make it your practice ground. Read the same page several times if needed. Feel the words. Let your voice shape them. Let your mind get used to speaking in English without stopping. This consistent effort, even in quiet spaces, will prepare you for real conversations. Over time you will develop not just fluency, but expression. You will learn how to add feeling to your voice. You will learn how to make the words come alive. This is what makes English not just understandable, but meaningful. And when your speech carries meaning, people listen. You will begin to speak not just with words, but with presence. That presence can only be developed through regular practice, through reading, through speaking, through repetition. If you feel stuck, go slower. If a sentence is difficult, break it down. Read it part by part. Focus on each word. Repeat until it flows. This kind of attention is rare, but it's what creates deep learning. You are not just chasing fluency. You are mastering communication. And that mastery comes from stillness, from patience, from deliberate action. Some days you will feel like you are making no progress. Read anyway. Some days your energy will be low. Read anyway. Discipline is what creates results, not motivation. Discipline. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are simply keeping a promise to yourself. A promise to improve, to grow, to never give up. The quiet power of reading aloud will reward you with progress that lasts far beyond any lesson or course. This is your practice. Own it. Create a space for it in your life. Protect that space. Make it something you do not skip. Because every time you read with focus and confidence, you are becoming more fluent. You are becoming more free. And that freedom will show itself in your conversations, your relationships, your opportunities. The world responds to those who speak with clarity and confidence. That clarity begins with how you practice in private. So pick up a book, open it to the first page, and begin. Let your voice grow stronger with each sentence. Let your heart grow steadier with each word. There is no rush. There is only effort, and that effort is shaping the person you are becoming. Someone who speaks English with ease, not fear. Someone who no longer doubts their ability. Someone who has trained, step by step, until speaking becomes natural. That is the power of reading aloud. And it is yours if you stay committed. Chapter 4. Practice thinking in English during your daily routine. Thinking in English is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to speak fluently and naturally. It is a habit that removes the need to constantly translate in your head. Translation slows you down, creates confusion, and leads to hesitation. When your thoughts form directly in English, your speech becomes faster, your responses become smoother, and your confidence grows without you even realizing it. This is not a skill that only advanced learners can develop. Anyone can build it. It takes time, it takes patience, but it is possible for anyone willing to pay attention to their thoughts and choose to guide them in a new direction. The human mind is always thinking. You think when you brush your teeth, when you cook, when you walk, and when you sit quietly. Most of that thinking happens in your native language because that's what you've always used. But you can take that natural process and slowly shift it toward English. You don't have to force it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to become aware of your thoughts and start changing the language in which they happen. This is the beginning of a powerful transformation. It's the moment you stop learning English from the outside and start living it from the inside. Start small. When you wake up, describe what you are doing in your mind using simple English sentences. Say things like, "I am getting out of bed," or "I am going to take a shower now." These thoughts do not have to be complex. They only need to be clear. Instead of thinking, "What should I eat?" in your native language, train yourself to ask it in English. When you look outside, describe the weather in English. When you plan your day, list the tasks in English. These little moments are opportunities to practice, to repeat, to build the habit of internal communication in your target language. Thinking in English is not about speed, it's about consistency. At first, your thoughts may come slowly. You may not know the exact word. You may have to pause and search your mind. That's completely okay. This is how your brain creates new connections. Every time you replace a native language thought with an English one, you are building new mental patterns. Over time, these patterns become stronger. The thoughts come faster. The sentences come more naturally. And you begin to realize that you are no longer translating. You are simply speaking directly from thought to language. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Do not stop yourself because a sentence isn't correct. Your goal is fluency in thinking, not perfection in structure. If you think, "I go market now," that's fine. You are training your brain to function in English. The details can be fixed later. The priority is to stay in the language, to stay mentally immersed, to keep the habit alive. This practice creates a mental environment where English is no longer something you use only in class. It becomes something you use in life. Whenever you catch yourself thinking in your native language, pause. Don't criticize yourself. Don't feel guilty. Just gently translate the thought into English and move on. The goal is not to judge your mind, but to guide it. If you see an object, name it in English. If you feel an emotion, label it in English. If you notice a problem, try to explain it to yourself in English. These simple actions train your brain to stay in the language, to treat English as something personal, practical, and present. You don't need a textbook to do this. You don't need anyone else around. You don't even need your voice. All you need is the decision to bring English into your thinking space. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. You will begin to dream in English. You will find yourself reacting to things in English without even trying. This is not magic. It is the result of daily effort, of choosing again and again to use the language in your most personal moments. Thinking in English also helps you become more emotionally connected to the language. When you experience something, joy, frustration, excitement, and describe it in English, you are not just learning vocabulary, you are linking English to your inner world. This emotional connection makes the language more real. It makes it part of your identity, and the more personal the language becomes, the more easily it flows from your mind to your mouth. Don't worry about mistakes. When you think in English, no one hears you. This is your safe space to try, to guess, to play with the language. Use this space to be free, to be curious, to be bold. You don't have to think in full sentences all the time. You can use words, fragments, questions. You can imagine conversations. You can practice replying to things you might hear in real life. This mental rehearsal prepares you for actual speaking. It makes you quicker, calmer, and more confident when the moment comes. If you want to go deeper, carry a small notebook, or use your phone to write down the English thoughts you had during the day. Review them at night. See what you could say more clearly. Look up words you didn't know. This reflection will help you grow faster. It will turn your thinking practice into real improvement, and as your thinking gets clearer, your speaking will follow. Some people say they don't have time to learn English, but they forget how many hours they spend thinking each day. You already have the time. What you need is awareness and intention. If you use even a small part of your daily thoughts for English practice, you will progress more than people who only study from books once a week. Because thinking is constant, it is private, it is powerful, and when you control your thoughts, you control your learning. Over time, you will notice that you can describe things more easily. You will understand your own thoughts more clearly. You will respond to situations in English without effort. This is the result of steady daily mental practice. It's not about being clever, it's about being committed. You are training your brain to switch languages, to create fluency not from memorization but from habit. Practice during simple routines. When you're cooking, think about the ingredients in English. When you're walking, describe your surroundings. When you're waiting for a bus or train, imagine explaining your day to someone. These are moments when your brain is free. Use them. Turn ordinary activities into learning opportunities. This is how you make English part of your life, not just your lessons. The more you think in English, the more natural it becomes. You will no longer feel like English is something you have to access. It will be something that lives in your thought. And that's the goal, to make English not just something you know, but something you are. When your mind becomes fluent, your speech follows. When your thoughts change, your actions change. This is not just language learning. This is transformation. Your thoughts are your training ground. Chapter 5. Record yourself speaking and review for better clarity. Recording your own voice is one of the most valuable habits you can build when learning to speak English with confidence and precision. It is a direct way to confront your actual speaking ability and turn it into a tool for measurable progress. Most learners avoid recording themselves because they feel uncomfortable listening to their own voice. They think it will be awkward, embarrassing, or even discouraging. But the truth is, this discomfort is exactly what makes the process effective. Growth does not happen when we stay comfortable. It happens when we are willing to see ourselves clearly, to study how we really speak, and to improve through steady, honest practice. When you record yourself, you move from vague guesses, clear understanding. You stop imagining how you sound and start hearing the truth. This gives you power. It gives you insight. It shows you what you do well and what needs more attention. You might not realize you speak too fast until you listen back. You might not notice certain words are unclear. You might think your sentences are flowing when in fact they're being broken by long pauses. None of these things are problems if you are willing to face them. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. Because when you are aware, you can improve with purpose. Begin by choosing simple topics you feel comfortable with. Talk about your day, your plans, your memories, or your opinions. Speak naturally, without reading a script. Let the words come from your own thoughts. Use whatever vocabulary you have, and don't worry about mistakes. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes, and then stop. Save the recording and listen to it carefully, as if you were evaluating someone else. Listen with calm attention, not with criticism. Ask yourself, can I understand every word I said? Did I speak clearly and confidently? Did I hesitate or repeat too much? Where can I improve? Make notes on what you hear. Notice if your voice drops at the end of sentences, making them hard to hear. Notice if your speech is too fast or too slow. Pay attention to filler words like like, or you know. These are natural, but if they appear too often, they weaken your message. You are not judging yourself, you are learning. You are developing the skill of self-correction. You are giving yourself the feedback that many learners never receive because they're too afraid to hear themselves. Over time, you will start to notice patterns. Certain grammar mistakes will show up again and again. Certain sounds will be harder to pronounce clearly. This is not a failure. This is a gift. Because once you know what needs work, you can target it directly. You can find specific words to practice, specific sentences to repeat, specific sounds to refine. You are no longer guessing. You are training with precision. Set a goal to record yourself regularly. It doesn't have to be long. Even 1 minute a day will make a difference if you do it with attention. Build a small library of your recordings and listen to older ones every few weeks. You will begin to hear your own progress. You will notice how your confidence has increased, how your speech has become smoother, how your pronunciation has become more accurate. This creates motivation. It reminds you that your work is paying off. Progress is not always visible from day to day, but it becomes clear when you have real evidence of how far you've come. Do not wait for the perfect moment to begin recording. You don't need a studio, a special microphone, or a quiet room. Your phone is enough. Your laptop is enough. What matters is not the quality of the sound, but the quality of your attention. Speak with focus, with intention, with the goal of growth. This is not about showing your recordings to others. This is about speaking for yourself, listening for yourself, improving for yourself. That is the power of this habit. It gives you full control over your learning. You can also use your recordings to compare yourself to native speakers. Find short videos or audio clips of people speaking English clearly. Repeat their words. Then record yourself saying the same thing. Listen to the two versions side by side. Notice the rhythm, the tone, the stress. Where do you sound similar? Where do you sound different? Use this comparison to refine your delivery, not to feel discouraged. Remember, the goal is not to copy perfectly, but to grow gradually. Each small improvement brings you closer to clarity and fluency. Another way to use your recordings is to practice storytelling. Pick a simple memory and describe it out loud in English. Use your own words. Don't read, just speak from your experience. This builds fluency in real-life speaking, the kind you need for conversations, interviews, or presentations. Listen to your story afterward and evaluate it. Was the message clear? Did you use a variety of expressions? Did your voice sound natural? This reflection helps you build speaking skills that are not only technically correct, but emotionally engaging and easy to understand. When you listen to your voice often, you begin to accept it. The fear starts to disappear. You realize that your voice, no matter what it sounds like, is your tool for connection. It does not have to be perfect to be powerful. It only needs to be trained, and recording yourself is how you do that. Day by day, word by word, sentence by sentence. It is a habit that puts your improvement in your hands. No one can do it for you. But once you begin, you will never want to stop, because the progress becomes visible, measurable, and motivating. This habit also prepares you for real conversations. When you've already spoken about a topic during your recording practice, you'll be more prepared to talk about it with other people. You've already organized your thoughts. You've already found the word. Your brain remembers that, and your confidence rises. You'll respond more quickly, more clearly, and with less hesitation. What once felt like a struggle begins to feel like something you can handle. Remember, no one becomes fluent by staying silent. You must speak, and if you don't always have someone to talk to, then speak to yourself, record it, and learn from it. This is how you train when no one is watching. This is how you grow when no one is helping. This is how you build independence and resilience. As a learner, you are not waiting for the perfect conditions. You are creating them through your own action. The more you speak, the more you hear. The more you hear, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more you improve. This cycle begins with one simple act: pressing record, speaking with focus, and listening with the intention to improve. Make this a daily habit, not a once-in-a-while activity. It is not something to do only when you feel good. It is something to do especially when you don't, because that's when it matters most. That's when the real change begins. Recording yourself is not just a speaking exercise, it is a mirror. It shows you your effort. It shows you your courage. And it shows you your potential. Every recording you make is proof that you are serious about your growth. It is a record of your progress, your persistence, and your power to improve. Keep pressing record. Keep speaking from the heart. Keep listening with purpose. The clarity you seek is already on its way, waiting for you to meet it through consistent action. Chapter 6. Join a speaking group to grow your communication skills. Joining a speaking group is one of the most direct and life-changing steps you can take to improve your English communication skills. It gives you the space to practice your voice, test your ideas, and connect with others who are on the same journey. Language is not something meant to be studied alone, in silence. It is meant to be used, shared, and spoken with real people in real situations. You can read books, watch videos, and memorize vocabulary, but until you open your mouth and engage in live conversation, your growth will always be limited. A speaking group breaks the wall between theory and practice. It turns knowledge into experience. When you speak in a group, something changes. You stop learning about English and start living through it. You begin to understand how communication really works. You listen more attentively. You adjust your words to fit the listener. You notice what works and what doesn't. And most importantly, you become braver. Speaking in front of others pushes you to grow in ways that solo practice never will. It forces you to deal with fear, hesitation, and discomfort, and that is where real progress lives. In a speaking group, you're not alone. Everyone is learning, everyone is trying. Everyone understands the nervous feeling of speaking a second language in front of others. That shared experience creates a supportive environment where mistakes are accepted and effort is respected. This atmosphere helps you relax. When you feel safe, you speak more. When you speak more, you improve, and when you improve, you gain the confidence to speak even more. This positive cycle builds strength in your communication, not just in English, but in your character as well. A speaking group gives you something valuable that solo learning never can: real-time feedback. When you speak to others, you hear their reactions, you see their expressions, you know instantly whether your message was clear. If it wasn't, you can correct it, clarify it, or rephrase it. This kind of feedback is immediate and powerful. It trains your mind to think more clearly, express yourself more effectively, and listen more deeply. These are not just language skills. These are life skills. To get the most out of a speaking group, you must participate regularly. Don't join once and disappear. Make it a habit. Attend sessions even when you feel tired or unsure. The more often you speak, the faster your mind adapts to the rhythm of conversation. You stop planning every sentence and start reacting naturally. You stop worrying about grammar and start focusing on meaning. This freedom allows your real voice to emerge stronger, clearer, and more connected to who you are. You don't need to be fluent to join a group. You don't need a perfect accent or a large vocabulary. You only need the willingness to try. Speaking groups are not about performance. They are about practice. They are not for people who know everything. They are for people who are willing to learn out loud. Every time you show up and speak, you're building something inside yourself. You're creating fluency not just in your language, but in your courage. Different types of speaking groups can serve different purposes. Some are formal, with structured topics, time limits, and clear feedback. Others are casual, where people talk freely about anything. Choose what fits your personality and goals. If you like structure, join a group with clear exercises. If you like open discussion, find a casual conversation circle. The important thing is that you show up, speak up, and stay consistent. The format matters less than your level of engagement. You can also create your own group if none exists near you. Find a few friends or classmates who want to improve. Set a time, pick a topic, and meet regularly, online or offline. It doesn't have to be large or perfect. Even a group of 2 can bring huge results if you both stay committed. Share stories, describe your week, debate simple topics, ask questions, and give each other feedback. The value lies in the interaction. The habit of speaking in English with real people again and again is what creates lasting improvement. In a group, you also learn from listening to others. You hear different accents, sentence patterns, and ways of expressing ideas. This expands your understanding of how English can be used. It breaks the narrow idea that there's only one correct way to speak. It shows you that communication is about connection, not perfection. You realize that what matters is not having perfect grammar, but being able to express your thoughts clearly and listen with care. This shift in perspective is deeply empowering. A speaking group can also help you set goals. You might challenge yourself to speak for 2 full minutes without stopping, or to ask 3 questions in each session, or to use 5 new vocabulary words in conversation. These small goals give your practice direction and energy. They help you stay focused, and when you achieve them, they give you a sense of progress that fuels your motivation. Over time, you'll notice changes in yourself. You'll pause less, you'll use more natural expressions, you'll handle corrections with more calmness, you'll begin to enjoy the act of speaking. What once felt difficult will start to feel rewarding. What once made you nervous will start to make you proud. These changes don't happen in one day, but they do happen when you keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep believing in your ability to grow. Joining a group also helps you build discipline. It creates accountability. When you know other people are expecting you, you show up even on the hard days. This consistency is powerful. It turns learning into a lifestyle. It teaches you to value community, commitment, and communication. These values go beyond English. They shape who you are and how you face challenges in every part of your life. You will not always feel ready. You will not always feel confident. But readiness is not the requirement, participation is. Progress does not come to those who wait, it comes to those who act. Speaking groups give you the space to act, to speak, to grow, even when you feel uncertain. That action, taken again and again, becomes the foundation of real lasting improvement. Each time you share a thought, ask a question, or express an opinion in English, you're not just practicing a skill, you're becoming a more open, more capable, and more connected version of yourself. You're building relationships, you're creating courage, and you're discovering that the more you speak, the more powerful your voice becomes, not just in English, but in every language of life. So find a group, join with purpose, speak without fear, listen with respect, grow through the process, make it a part of your journey. Let it shape your confidence, sharpen your skills, and stretch your potential. This one step, joining a speaking group, can become the turning point in your journey, from silent learner to confident speaker. Take that step, trust the process. Speak your way forward. Chapter 7. Ask questions in English without fear or hesitation. Asking questions in English is one of the most powerful habits you can build if you want to grow your speaking skills, deepen your understanding, and gain true confidence in communication. Many learners hold back from asking questions because they worry about making mistakes, sounding unclear, or being judged. But this fear blocks progress. It stops your voice before it even has a chance to grow. Real improvement only comes when you give yourself permission to be curious, to speak up, and to seek clarity without hesitation. Questions are not a sign of weakness, they are a sign of intelligence. They show that you are thinking, learning, and actively engaging with the world around you. Every time you ask a question, you create an opportunity to learn something new. You also give others a chance to connect with you, explain their ideas, and support your growth. Questions open doors. They lead to conversations, they build relationships, and they teach you how to communicate more naturally and effectively. If you stay silent, people assume you understand. If you speak up, they know you care. Learning to ask questions in English is not just about grammar or vocabulary, it's about building courage. It's about breaking the habit of silence and replacing it with a habit of action. You don't have to ask complex questions. You don't need advanced words. You just need a mindset that says, I want to learn, and I am not afraid to ask. Start with simple question forms. Use what, why, how, when, and where. Practice using them in your daily life. If you're watching a video and don't understand something, pause and ask yourself in English, what does that word mean? Or why did he say that? If you're speaking with someone and you miss a point, say, can you repeat that please? Or what do you mean by that? These questions may be basic, but they are powerful. They keep you in the language. They help you stay involved. They build the habit of interaction. The more you ask, the more confident you become. The fear of speaking fades not because it disappears, but because you face it repeatedly and learn that you can survive it. You begin to realize that making a mistake when asking a question is not a disaster. It's a moment of learning. Most people respect you more for trying, not less. They see your effort, they hear your voice, and often they respond with kindness, encouragement, and answers that help you improve. Asking questions also helps you become a better listener. When you listen with the intention to ask, you focus more. You pay closer attention to meaning, to details, to tone. This sharpens your listening skills and makes your conversations more meaningful. You stop waiting for your turn to speak and start engaging with what others are saying. That level of engagement improves your language from both sides, speaking and understanding. Don't wait for perfect grammar to start asking. Fluency doesn't come from knowing every rule. It comes from using what you know again and again in real situations. You can ask, "What this word?" or "Why he say that?" and still be understood. Of course, you'll improve the structure over time, but the most important part is speaking up. Practice builds clarity. Clarity builds confidence, and confidence builds fluency. To grow faster, keep a small notebook or a digital note where you write down questions in English that you think of throughout the day. These can be questions about things you read, watch, hear, or experience. Bring these questions to your speaking group, your language partner, or your teacher. Use them to start conversations. Use them to explore new ideas. Use them to make your learning active rather than passive. When you're in a conversation and you don't understand something, don't just nod and move on. Ask for clarification. Say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that," or "Can you explain it in another way?" or "What does that word mean?" These simple phrases give you power. They turn confusion into connection. They teach you how to stay present in a conversation, even when it feels challenging. Some learners think asking questions will make them look less smart. In truth, it shows strength. It shows that you are not afraid to speak, not afraid to learn, and not afraid to grow. The people who ask questions are the ones who improve faster, think deeper, and build stronger language habits. If you want to grow, you must be willing to admit when something is unclear, and then ask. You can also practice asking questions in private. Choose a topic you care about, like travel, health, or learning. Think of 5 questions you might ask someone about that topic. Say them out loud. Record your voice. Listen to the tone, the speed, the pronunciation. Ask yourself if the question sounds natural. If not, try again. This solo practice prepares you for real conversations. It gives you the language and the rhythm before you ever enter the situation. Over time, you'll build a toolbox of common question forms you can use in many situations. You'll have phrases like, "What do you think about?" "How does it work?" "Why do people do that?" and "Can you give me an example?" ready in your mind. These tools reduce hesitation. They make speaking easier. They allow you to guide conversations instead of just following them. You will also notice that the more you ask, the more people engage with you. They open up, they share stories, they give you new vocabulary. And suddenly, the conversation flows. You are no longer stuck in your head, trying to think of what to say. The questions lead the way. They create natural exchanges. They make communication smoother and more enjoyable. Asking questions in English also builds independence. It teaches you to seek answers instead of waiting for someone to give them. It makes you more active in your learning. You stop being a passive student and become a responsible communicator. This mindset shift creates momentum. It keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow. Every time you ask a question, you are not just practicing English, you are becoming more expressive, more thoughtful, and more connected to others. You are showing up for yourself. You are building a voice that is clear, strong, and unafraid. And that voice is not created in silence. It is built one question at a time. You don't have to wait until you feel brave. Ask even when you feel nervous. Ask especially when you feel uncertain. That is how you grow. Courage does not come first. Action does. And through repeated action, courage arrives. So keep asking, keep speaking, keep choosing growth over fear. Your fluency will rise as your questions increase. Your confidence will deepen every time you break the silence with curiosity. Asking questions in English is not just a technique. It is a mindset, a habit, and a sign that you are serious about your development. Build that habit today. Use it every day. And let your curiosity lead the way to greater fluency, deeper understanding, and more powerful conversations than ever before. Chapter 8. Shadow native speakers to improve your rhythm fast. Shadowing native speakers is a direct and effective way to train your ear, develop your natural rhythm, and bring fluency to life. It's not about repeating words like a robot, but about tuning your voice to match real speech patterns that native speakers use every day. This is where fluency begins to sound real, not like something from a grammar book, but like something you hear in conversation on the street, in films, and in real life. Shadowing helps you absorb pronunciation, intonation, stress, pauses, and even emotion, all the elements that make spoken English feel alive and authentic. When you shadow, you are not just repeating sounds, you are actively training your brain and muscles to produce speech in a more natural way. You are learning not just what native speakers say, but how they say it. You are studying the music of the language, the rise and fall of their voice, the way they emphasize certain words, how they blend sounds, and how they make speech flow smoothly. These are things no textbook can teach, but your ears and mouth can learn with consistent practice. Start with short and simple materials. Choose a video clip, podcast segment, or even a scene from a movie where a native speaker talks clearly and at a natural pace. Do not rush to long or fast recordings in the beginning. Choose content that you enjoy, that feels meaningful, and that matches your current level with a bit of challenge. Listen to one sentence at a time. Pause the audio. Repeat the sentence out loud exactly as you heard it. Match not only the words, but the tone, the speed, and the emotion behind the sentence. Then play the original again and compare. Keep doing this until your version sounds close to the original. It will not be perfect at first. That's normal. What matters is that you are listening deeply and speaking with intention. This kind of practice develops fluency far more effectively than silent study. It activates your listening, your thinking, and your speaking at the same time. It forces your mind and mouth to work together, and with every sentence you shadow, you are building stronger coordination between what you hear and what you say. This is exactly what happens in real conversation, so the more you shadow, the more prepared you become for real interaction. Shadowing also sharpens your ability to notice the small details that make English sound smooth. You'll start to catch how native speakers link words together, how they reduce certain sounds, and how they pause naturally. You'll notice that they don't always speak like the written form. They contract words, they drop syllables, and they use rhythm to guide meaning. This kind of awareness makes your own speech clearer and more natural. It teaches you not just to speak English, but to speak it like someone who truly understands its flow. To make the most of shadowing, create a consistent routine. Set aside time each day. Even 10 minutes can bring results if done with focus. Choose one short clip to work on, and don't try to do too much at once. Mastering even a few seconds of natural speech is better than rushing through minutes of sloppy imitation. Speak slowly at first. If needed, break the sentence into parts. Then try it again at full speed. If it feels hard, that's good. It means you are stretching your ability. Keep repeating until the sentence feels easier, until your mouth begins to remember the pattern without thinking. Shadowing also improves your confidence. When you speak out loud, you begin to trust your own voice more. You hear yourself sounding closer to native speakers, and that gives you proof that you are progressing. The fear of speaking begins to shrink. You start to feel more ready for real conversations. You stop worrying about each individual word and start focusing on meaning, tone, and delivery. You sound more fluent because you feel more fluent, and that belief makes all the difference. There are many ways to include shadowing in your daily life. You can listen to short videos while getting ready in the morning and speak along. You can repeat scenes from your favorite TV shows. You can mimic podcasts while walking or sitting alone. You can even use subtitles to help you understand difficult parts. The key is to keep your practice active and your attention sharp. Don't just listen. Don't just repeat. Listen deeply. Speak boldly. Match every detail you can. You can also record yourself while shadowing. This allows you to hear your own progress and compare your version to the original. It's a powerful tool for self-correction. When you hear the differences clearly, you can go back and improve. This process builds a sense of control over your voice. You are no longer guessing. You are measuring, adjusting, and growing through clear action. Shadowing can also help with emotional expression. When you imitate real conversations, you are not just copying words. You are learning how English expresses joy, sadness, surprise, frustration, and more. This makes your speech more engaging. It helps you connect with people on a deeper level. Language is more than information. It's human experience, and shadowing trains you to carry that experience in your voice. Over time, you'll find yourself using phrases and expressions you never studied. They'll come naturally because you've repeated them so often during your practice. You'll speak with better rhythm, smoother flow, and less hesitation. You'll no longer sound robotic or stiff. Your voice will carry confidence and ease. This is the reward of shadowing. It makes your speech feel real, not just correct. You don't need to be perfect when you shadow. You just need to be present. Focus on one step at a time. One clip, one sentence, one improvement. The results build slowly but surely. You'll begin to notice changes in your pronunciation, in your speed, and in your confidence. These changes may feel small at first, but they are signs of deep learning. Stick with it. Keep showing up. Keep repeating. And let your mouth grow as skilled as your ears. If possible, choose a range of voices to shadow, men and women, different accents, different speaking styles. This gives you flexibility. It helps you adapt to real-world English, which comes in many forms. Don't just shadow one speaker forever. Expand your exposure. Make your listening as wide as your speaking goals. The more voices you learn from, the more complete your skill becomes. Shadowing is not about becoming someone else. It's about learning from others so you can become more yourself, clearer, stronger, and more capable of expressing what you really think and feel. You are training your voice to carry meaning with precision and ease, and that is what true fluency sounds like. Not fast, not fancy, but natural and confident. You don't need any special talent to start shadowing. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't even need to understand everything you hear the first time. All you need is willingness. Willingness to listen carefully. Willingness to speak out loud. Willingness to keep going, even when it feels awkward or hard. That is the mindset that leads to progress. Make shadowing a part of your daily growth. Let it train your ears, your mouth, and your mind. Let it teach you how English truly sounds and how you can bring that sound into your own life. Practice every day with focus and energy, and watch as your voice transforms, not through memorization, but through action. The more you shadow, the faster your rhythm improves. The more you improve, the more fluent you become. And the more fluent you become, the more free you feel when you speak. Keep shadowing, keep growing, keep speaking forward.
Chapter 9. Repeat powerful sentences until they feel natural daily.
Repeating powerful sentences every day is a simple yet profound way to build confidence and fluency in English speaking. This practice trains your brain and mouth to work together so that speaking becomes natural rather than forced. When you repeat sentences that carry meaning and strength, you are not just practicing words, you are building habits that shape how you think, speak, and connect. The repetition forms a bridge between your current skill and the fluid, confident speech you desire. Choosing the right sentences to repeat is important. Pick sentences that are useful in everyday life, meaningful to you, and rich in vocabulary or expressions you want to learn. These might be phrases for greetings, expressing opinions, asking questions, or sharing feelings. Powerful sentences contain clear ideas and emotion, making them easier to remember and more satisfying to say. When a sentence feels valuable, you are more likely to practice it consistently, and consistency is the key to transformation. Repeating sentences until they feel natural means practicing beyond just saying the words once or twice. It means speaking them clearly, slowly, and with feeling until they flow smoothly from your lips. At first, this might feel strange or repetitive, but that is exactly what creates the muscle memory your mouth and brain need. The more you practice, the less you have to think about grammar or vocabulary because your body remembers the pattern. This frees your mind to focus on meaning and expression. Incorporate this repetition into your daily routine in a way that fits your life. You can say your sentences while brushing your teeth, walking, cooking, or waiting in line. The key is to practice regularly, even if it's just a few minutes. Daily repetition turns practice into habit. The sentences become part of your automatic speech system rather than a task you do occasionally. This automaticity is what makes speaking English easier, faster, and more confident. Record yourself repeating these sentences and listen back. This allows you to hear how natural they sound and where you can improve. Listening to your own voice gives you clear evidence of progress and points for adjustment. You can notice your tone, pronunciation, and rhythm. This feedback loop is essential because improvement happens when you measure your performance and adjust accordingly. Repeating sentences in isolation is helpful, but hearing them integrated into your natural voice is even more powerful. Use variety in your sentence selection to keep your practice fresh and challenging. Rotate between different types of sentences, questions, statements, commands, expressions of emotion. This expands your ability to use English in many contexts. It also prevents boredom, keeping your motivation high. The more diverse your practice, the more flexible and versatile your speaking will become. When repeating sentences, focus on pronunciation and intonation as much as on the words themselves. Speak clearly and with intention. Pay attention to how native speakers stress certain words and use pauses to create meaning. Mimicking these patterns gives your speech a natural flow. This improves not only how you sound, but also how listeners understand you. Clear, confident speech invites connection and respect. Repetition also strengthens your mental relationship with the language. When you say powerful sentences daily, they become part of your mindset. You start thinking in English phrases instead of translating from your native language. This mental shift speeds up your thinking and speaking process. You begin to respond more quickly in conversations. You stop getting stuck searching for words, because familiar sentences come easily. Be patient with yourself during this process. Some sentences will feel difficult at first. Others might take longer to sound natural. This is normal. Progress in language learning is not always visible day to day, but it accumulates steadily. Trust the power of repetition and consistency. Over time, your effort will turn into fluency. Pair this repetition practice with real conversations whenever possible. Use your practiced sentences to express yourself with others. This application solidifies your learning and builds confidence. Speaking in real life tests your ability to recall and use your repeated sentences naturally. It pushes you to adapt and expand on what you've practiced. Each successful use in conversation strengthens your habit and your belief in your abilities. Repeating powerful sentences is not about mindless memorization. It is about building a strong foundation for fluent, confident communication. It helps you internalize language patterns, improve your pronunciation, and develop automatic responses. These elements work together to reduce hesitation and increase your comfort in speaking English. This practice also builds resilience. When you repeat sentences daily, you are committing to your growth regardless of obstacles. Even on days when you feel tired or discouraged, speaking those sentences reminds you of your dedication. It creates a sense of progress and control over your learning journey. This resilience carries over to other challenges in life, showing you that steady, focused effort brings results. Make this repetition a joyful part of your learning. Choose sentences that inspire you, that reflect your goals, and that make you feel empowered. Speak them with energy and belief. When you feel connected to what you say, your voice becomes stronger, your speech becomes more expressive and engaging. This emotional connection makes your practice more effective and more meaningful. Finally, celebrate your progress regularly. Notice how sentences that once felt hard become easy. Notice how your voice sounds clearer and more confident. These small wins are the markers of your journey. They remind you that every repetition matters. They encourage you to keep going, to keep speaking, and to keep growing. Repeating powerful sentences daily is a simple habit with profound impact. It transforms your English speaking skills and your belief in yourself. Commit to this practice and watch your voice become a true instrument of connection and expression. Chapter 10. Correct your common mistakes and never stop improving. Correcting your common mistakes and committing to continuous improvement is a cornerstone of mastering English speaking skills. The journey to fluency is not a straight line, and errors are natural milestones along the path. Instead of fearing mistakes, viewing them as opportunities to learn and grow transforms your mindset and accelerates progress. Identifying your frequent errors is the first step toward real change, because awareness creates the space for correction. Start by paying close attention to the patterns in your speech where mistakes happen most often. These might be specific grammar points, pronunciation slips, word choice, or sentence structure problems. Awareness requires honest self-reflection and often outside input. Record yourself speaking or ask a trusted teacher, friend, or language partner to help pinpoint areas needing attention. Without this clarity, it's easy to repeat the same errors without realizing it, which slows growth and can cause frustration. Once you know your common mistakes, focus on one or two at a time rather than trying to fix everything at once. Narrowing your attention allows for deeper understanding and better retention. Practice targeted exercises related to these mistakes. For example, if verb tenses confuse you, spend time forming sentences using those tenses in daily conversation and writing. If pronunciation is a challenge, Isolate the sounds you struggle with and practice them repeatedly in different words and sentences. Consistent, focused practice brings lasting correction. Learning to self-correct during speaking is another important skill. This means developing the habit of noticing errors as you speak and adjusting immediately. It requires patience and sharp attention, but over time it trains your mind to catch mistakes in real time before they become habits. Self-correction strengthens your ability to speak accurately and increases your confidence because you take control of your language rather than feeling at its mercy. Embrace feedback as a powerful tool for improvement. Whether it comes from teachers, native speakers, or language exchange partners, constructive feedback provides valuable insights you might miss on your own. Listen carefully and avoid taking corrections personally. Instead, view them as gifts that illuminate blind spots and guide you toward more precise expression. The most successful language learners seek feedback regularly and apply it actively. Avoid the trap of perfectionism. Waiting to speak only when you feel completely correct limits your opportunities to practice and learn. Making mistakes is inevitable and necessary. Every error is a chance to improve. Each correction brings you closer to clarity and confidence. When you accept imperfection as part of the process, your fear of speaking diminishes and your willingness to engage grows. Keep a mistake journal where you record errors and corrections daily. Writing down your mistakes and the right forms makes your learning concrete. Review this journal regularly to track patterns and progress. Over time, you will see how errors that once appeared frequently begin to fade. This visual proof of improvement motivates sustained effort and discipline. Developing a mindset of lifelong learning is vital. Language is not a skill you perfect and then forget. It's a living practice that grows with consistent attention. Even advanced speakers continue to refine their grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Embracing this ongoing journey keeps you humble, curious, and engaged. It turns language learning into a meaningful part of your daily life rather than a temporary task. Use technology as a supportive tool to correct mistakes. Language learning apps, pronunciation tools, and grammar checkers can provide instant guidance and practice. Utilize these resources to complement your personal efforts, but don't rely on them exclusively. Human interaction and self-awareness remain irreplaceable for deep learning. Celebrate every small victory when you successfully correct a mistake. These moments of clarity build your self-trust and encourage you to keep going. Acknowledge that improvement often comes in small steps rather than giant leaps. Patience with yourself during this process nurtures resilience and sustained motivation. Remember that correcting mistakes is not about erasing your voice, but refining it. Your unique accent, style, and way of speaking are part of who you are. The goal is clear, effective communication, not losing your individuality. Improvement enhances your ability to express yourself authentically and connect with others. Never stop seeking new challenges to stretch your skills. Engage with different speakers, explore varied topics, and experiment with new vocabulary and sentence structures. Each challenge exposes gaps and creates opportunities for correction and growth. Pushing beyond comfort zones keeps your learning dynamic and prevents stagnation. Building correction into your daily routine ensures steady progress. Dedicate time to review your mistakes, practice alternatives, and apply corrections in real conversations. Consistency turns correction from a chore into a habit that supports your evolving fluency. Understand that progress in language learning is gradual and requires discipline. The path to mastery includes setbacks and repeated mistakes. Persevere through these moments with determination. Your willingness to confront errors and refine your skills is what shapes your ultimate success. Cultivate a positive attitude toward mistakes. Replace negative self-talk with constructive thoughts. When you err, remind yourself that this is a natural and necessary part of learning. Your patience and kindness toward yourself influence your motivation and resilience more than any external factor. Use mistakes as a mirror to deepen your understanding of the language. Analyze why the error happened and explore the correct structure or pronunciation in detail. This analytical approach transforms passive errors into active lessons, turning challenges into stepping stones. Surround yourself with people who support your correction process. A learning community or supportive friends provide encouragement and gentle guidance. Sharing your journey with others reduces isolation and offers different perspectives on common mistakes. Keep your focus on progress rather than perfection. Track improvements over weeks and months. Celebrate clearer speech, increased understanding, and more confident conversations. These achievements reflect your commitment to lifelong growth. In moments of frustration, return to your purpose. Remember why you started learning English and what your goals are. This clarity fuels your patience with mistakes and motivates you to keep improving. Your language journey is a reflection of your larger commitment to personal growth and resilience. Through consistent effort to identify, correct, and learn from your mistakes, you develop a stronger, more confident English voice. This voice carries your ideas clearly and connects you authentically with others. The willingness to never stop improving transforms language learning from a task into a lifelong practice that enriches your life in countless ways. Chapter 11. Watch English videos slowly and speak along clearly. Watching English videos slowly and speaking along clearly is a powerful way to enhance your speaking skills because it combines listening comprehension and speaking practice into one effective method. When you slow down videos, you give yourself the chance to understand every word, every pause, and every intonation pattern. This slower pace allows your brain to process language naturally instead of feeling overwhelmed by fast speech. Speaking along helps you engage actively, turning passive listening into dynamic practice. Begin by selecting videos that interest you and match your level of English comprehension. These can be interviews, conversations, tutorials, or storytelling clips. Choose something that feels relevant to your goals and holds your attention. When you enjoy the content, your motivation to repeat and speak along increases, making the learning process feel less like work and more like discovery. Start with short clips or segments of videos so that you can focus on details. Play a sentence or two, pause the video, and repeat the sentence aloud. Match the speaker's tone, rhythm, and pronunciation as closely as possible. This deliberate practice sharpens your ear and trains your mouth to produce sounds and patterns that native speakers use naturally. Repeating sentences immediately helps transfer what you hear directly into your speaking ability. Slowing down the playback speed is essential to this practice. Most video platforms allow you to reduce speed, making fast speech manageable. At slower speeds, you can notice word endings, linking sounds, and small details that often get lost at regular pace. Hearing these nuances trains your auditory system to recognize subtle elements of English, which improves your ability to reproduce them. This attention to detail gradually enhances your overall fluency and comprehension. Speaking along with videos also helps build muscle memory. Your vocal cords, tongue, and lips get used to forming words and sentences in patterns that reflect natural English speech. The repetition of clear, well-formed sentences solidifies correct pronunciation and intonation. Over time, your brain creates automatic connections between hearing and speaking these patterns, allowing your speech to flow more smoothly in real conversations. This method reduces fear and hesitation. When you practice with a video, you know the words in advance and can prepare your speech. This predictability lowers anxiety, making it easier to focus on speaking clearly. You can repeat sentences as many times as needed until you feel comfortable. This safe environment gives you confidence to experiment with sounds and expressions without pressure. Don't rush through the process. Take your time to pronounce every word carefully. Pay attention to stressed syllables and the natural rise and fall of the speaker's voice. Mimic the emotion and energy behind the sentences. The goal is not just to say words, but to speak with clarity and expression. This attention to speaking quality builds skills that translate directly into better real-life communication. Use subtitles or transcripts when necessary. Reading along while listening and speaking can help you connect spoken sounds with their written forms. This dual input strengthens vocabulary recognition and spelling, enriching your language skills holistically. Subtitles also serve as a safety net, allowing you to check your understanding without losing focus. To make this practice more effective, set daily goals, such as watching and shadowing a specific number of sentences or minutes. Consistency is key. Even short, focused practice sessions add up over time and produce measurable results. Tracking your progress motivates you to keep going and improves your self-discipline. Recording yourself while speaking along with videos is another valuable step. Listening to your recordings reveals areas where you differ from the native speaker's pronunciation or rhythm. This feedback guides your corrections and helps you focus on specific sounds or patterns needing improvement. Over time, your recordings will show clear progress, encouraging continued effort. Vary the types of videos you watch. Exposure to different speakers, accents, and topics broadens your understanding and prepares you for diverse real-world conversations. You'll become comfortable with a range of speaking styles, speeds, and vocabularies. This adaptability strengthens your overall communication skills. Speaking along with videos also improves your listening comprehension. When you focus on matching the speaker's voice, you develop a sharper ear for recognizing words and phrases in context. This skill carries over to everyday listening situations, making it easier to understand native speakers in conversations, media, and public settings. Remember to pause and rewind when necessary. Don't be afraid to go over challenging parts multiple times. Repetition deepens learning and builds confidence. You may find that sentences which felt difficult at first become easier with practice. This process of gradual mastery is the foundation of lasting improvement. Approach this method with patience and positivity. Progress may feel slow initially, but every clear sentence you speak along with moves you closer to your goal. Celebrate small victories such as improved pronunciation, smoother rhythm, or increased comfort speaking aloud. These moments of success fuel motivation and create momentum. Incorporate this practice into your daily routine to build momentum, whether during breaks, commutes, or quiet moments. Speaking along with videos keeps your skills active and sharp. The more you engage with spoken English in this way, the faster your fluency will grow. Over time, your brain and mouth will synchronize more naturally with English speech. You will begin to anticipate words and phrases, making your own speaking faster and more accurate. This automaticity makes conversations easier and more enjoyable. You'll notice less mental effort is required to form sentences, freeing you to focus on meaning and connection. Using this approach regularly deepens your understanding of English beyond grammar and vocabulary. You start to sense the flow and emotion behind communication. You learn how to express yourself with nuance and confidence. Your voice gains strength and clarity because it is trained on real, living language. This method empowers you to become an active learner. You take control of your speaking practice by choosing materials, setting your pace, and tracking your progress. You build discipline and develop a growth mindset that values consistent effort and self-reflection. These qualities benefit not only your language skills, but your personal growth as well. Watching English videos slowly and speaking along clearly transforms passive exposure into active mastery. It creates a strong foundation for confident and fluent speech. When you make this practice a daily habit, your English speaking improves steadily, and your connection with the language deepens. Your voice becomes a clear, natural instrument for communication. Keep practicing with patience and intention, and your progress will be undeniable. Chapter 12. Write short English stories and read them aloud. Writing short English stories and reading them aloud is a dynamic way to improve your speaking skills while engaging creativity and deepening your understanding of the language. This practice connects writing and speaking in a meaningful way, making language learning active and personal. Crafting your own stories allows you to use vocabulary and grammar in context, which strengthens memory and builds confidence. Reading those stories aloud then trains your mouth and ears simultaneously, improving pronunciation, rhythm, and expressiveness. Start by choosing simple topics that interest you and are manageable in length. Writing doesn't have to be complicated or lengthy. A few sentences or a short paragraph is enough. Focus on everyday themes, like describing a day, telling about a favorite place, or narrating a small event. This approach keeps writing enjoyable and reduces pressure. The key is to create content that feels relevant and motivating to you. As you write, focus on using clear and straightforward sentences. Avoid complex structures at first. The goal is communication, not perfection. Writing in this way helps you organize your thoughts in English and practice the structures you've learned. It encourages active use of vocabulary and grammar rather than passive recognition. Every sentence you write builds your language muscles and prepares you to speak confidently. After writing your story, read it aloud slowly and clearly. This reading connects your written words with spoken English. Speaking your own words aloud makes the language real and personal. You hear how sentences flow, how words sound, and where natural pauses should happen. This practice enhances your oral fluency and helps you internalize language patterns. Reading aloud also reveals areas for improvement. You might notice pronunciation challenges, awkward sentence rhythms, or unclear expression. These observations guide your next round of writing and speaking practice. Over time, you will become more comfortable shaping your sentences and expressing ideas clearly and naturally. Make reading aloud a daily habit. Set aside time each day to write a short story and read it out loud multiple times. Repetition reinforces learning and increases confidence. Speaking your own words repeatedly helps you remember vocabulary and grammar more deeply. It also trains your voice to speak smoothly and with intention. Recording yourself during these readings is another powerful tool. Listening to your voice helps you hear strengths and weaknesses more objectively. It encourages self-awareness and allows you to track progress. When you hear your pronunciation improve or your speech become clearer, it motivates continued practice. Use feedback wisely. If possible, share your stories or recordings with teachers or language partners. Their insights can highlight errors you might miss and provide suggestions for improvement. Constructive feedback helps you refine your skills and grow more rapidly. Embrace this input as part of your learning journey. Vary your story topics to expand your vocabulary and experience different sentence structures. Experiment with describing feelings, giving instructions, telling about past experiences, or imagining future events. This variety prepares you for diverse conversations and strengthens your overall language skills. Writing short stories also encourages creativity and engagement with the language. It turns learning into an enjoyable activity rather than a chore. Expressing your own ideas builds a stronger connection to English and increases motivation. The more personal and meaningful your writing, the more energized your speaking practice becomes. Reading your stories aloud sharpens your ability to express emotion and intention. You practice using tone, emphasis, and pacing to make your words come alive. This skill is crucial for effective communication and helps you connect more deeply with listeners. Don't worry about making mistakes in your writing or speaking. The goal is progress, not perfection. Mistakes are natural and valuable steps toward improvement. Each attempt builds your ability and moves you closer to fluency. Celebrate your achievements regularly. Notice how your sentences become smoother, your pronunciation clearer, and your storytelling richer. Recognize the effort you invest and the progress you make. These celebrations boost your confidence and keep your commitment strong. Integrate writing and reading aloud into your broader language learning routine. Combine it with listening to English, speaking with others, and studying vocabulary and grammar. This comprehensive approach creates a balanced and effective learning experience. Writing your own stories gives you control over your learning. You decide what to say and how to say it. This ownership increases your engagement and helps you develop a personal voice in English. Your stories become a reflection of your growth and creativity. Sharing your stories with others, whether in person or online, adds a social dimension to your practice. It creates opportunities for feedback, encouragement, and connection. Interaction motivates you to keep improving and provides real-world speaking experience. Approach this practice with patience and curiosity. Language skills develop gradually through consistent effort. Every story you write and read aloud strengthens your fluency and confidence. Trust the process and keep creating. Writing and reading aloud is a practical, creative, and effective way to improve English speaking skills. It trains your mind and mouth together, deepens your connection to the language, and builds lasting habits for success. Embrace this method with enthusiasm and watch your voice become clearer, stronger, and more expressive each day. Chapter 13. Use new words in real conversations with boldness. Using new words boldly in real conversations is one of the most effective ways to make your English speaking skills grow naturally and powerfully. When you actively bring fresh vocabulary into your speech, you solidify your knowledge, boost your confidence, and expand your ability to express thoughts with clarity and nuance. Speaking boldly means overcoming hesitation and fear of making mistakes. It is a deliberate choice to push yourself forward, recognizing that growth happens through action, not perfection. The first step in using new words with boldness is to truly understand their meaning and how they fit into sentences. It's not enough to memorize a word or its definition. You need to grasp how it functions in context. Study example sentences and notice how native speakers use the word. This deep understanding prepares you to use the word correctly and naturally, making your speech more fluid and accurate. Practice new words before using them in conversation. Say them out loud several times, create sentences, and imagine situations where they might come up. This rehearsal builds mental readiness. When you prepare, the new word feels less foreign and more like a familiar tool you can reach for confidently. When you enter a real conversation, challenge yourself to introduce these words without waiting for perfect moments. Look for natural opportunities to include them. For example, if you learned the word enthusiastic, use it when talking about your hobbies or plans. The more you seize chances to speak boldly, the more comfortable and automatic it becomes. Accept that mistakes may happen. Using new words incorrectly is part of learning. Instead of fearing errors, view them as valuable lessons. Every attempt is progress. People appreciate the effort to communicate and are often supportive. Mistakes do not diminish your value. They are proof you are actively learning and growing. Boldness also comes from believing in the importance of your voice. Your thoughts and ideas deserve to be heard. Using new vocabulary is a way of enriching your message and showing your unique perspective. When you speak with conviction, listeners respond with respect and engagement. This positive interaction encourages further practice and confidence. If you find it difficult to insert new words naturally, try preparing short dialogues or role plays. Simulate conversations where you can use your new vocabulary in meaningful ways. Practicing these scenarios builds fluency and reduces hesitation. The more familiar you are with using words actively, the easier it is to bring them up spontaneously. Building a supportive environment is crucial. Surround yourself with people who encourage your boldness. Join language groups, find conversation partners, or participate in discussion forums. When you feel safe to experiment, your willingness to use new words grows. Constructive feedback from others helps refine your usage and strengthens your skill. Observe how native speakers introduce new words and phrases in conversation. Notice their tone, timing, and context. Imitate these patterns in your speech to sound more natural. This modeling bridges the gap between textbook learning and real-world communication. Expand your vocabulary gradually. Trying to use too many new words at once can be overwhelming. Focus on a handful of words each week and aim to use them repeatedly until they feel comfortable. Repetition in conversation reinforces retention and builds your active vocabulary steadily. Emphasize pronunciation and intonation when using new words. Clear pronunciation ensures your message is understood and boosts your credibility. Speaking with appropriate emphasis and rhythm makes your words more engaging and memorable. Practicing these elements alongside vocabulary use elevates your overall speaking skills. Track your progress by noting which new words you use successfully in conversations. Celebrate these moments as milestones. Recognizing your achievements reinforces your motivation to continue expanding your vocabulary boldly. When you hesitate to use a new word, remind yourself that growth requires stepping out of your comfort zone. Bold speaking builds courage that transcends language learning and benefits other areas of life. The discipline to try and learn from feedback fosters resilience and self-belief. Use mistakes as feedback rather than setbacks. Each incorrect usage teaches you more about meaning, collocation, and pronunciation. Reflect on errors and adjust your approach. This cycle of use, correction, and adaptation leads to mastery. Integrate new words into different types of conversation. Practice casual chats, formal discussions, storytelling, and explanations. Versatile use strengthens your ability to adapt vocabulary to varied contexts, making your English richer and more flexible. Ask for help when unsure about word usage. Native speakers, teachers, and language apps can clarify doubts quickly. Seeking assistance shows your commitment to accuracy and deepens your understanding. Remember that boldness is a habit. The more you practice speaking with new words, the more natural it becomes. Consistency transforms initial discomfort into ease and enjoyment. This habitual boldness accelerates your overall language growth. Use visualization techniques to prepare for conversations. Imagine yourself confidently using new words in specific situations. Visual practice primes your brain and reduces anxiety. This mental rehearsal improves actual performance. Embrace curiosity about words. Explore synonyms, antonyms, and related expressions to deepen your vocabulary network. This exploration makes learning more engaging and equips you with multiple ways to express ideas clearly. Maintain a positive mindset toward learning. Celebrate every word you successfully use and every conversation you engage in. This optimism fuels perseverance and turns language learning into a fulfilling journey. Finally, remember that bold use of new vocabulary enriches your communication and personal growth. It transforms language learning from a passive activity into an active expression of your evolving identity. Speaking boldly empowers you to connect authentically, express ideas vividly, and navigate the world with growing confidence. Keep using new words boldly and watch your English speaking skills soar to new heights. Chapter 14. Practice speaking in front of a mirror each morning. Practicing speaking in front of a mirror each morning is a powerful habit that transforms your English speaking skills by building confidence, self-awareness, and clarity. When you look into your own eyes while speaking, you create a private space for honest reflection and focused practice. This daily ritual combines self-discipline with direct feedback, allowing you to observe your expressions, body language, and pronunciation in real time. The mirror becomes your first audience, training you to present your voice and message with authenticity and control. Starting this practice early in the day sets a positive tone. It anchors your mind and body to the intention of growth, reminding you that every morning is a fresh opportunity to improve. Speaking aloud to yourself in this way sharpens mental focus and strengthens the connection between your thoughts and your spoken words. It is an exercise in presence, forcing you to slow down, articulate clearly, and listen closely to your own voice. When you begin, choose simple topics or sentences to speak about. This lowers pressure and allows you to concentrate on pronunciation and natural rhythm. As you grow comfortable, expand into sharing thoughts, retelling stories, or discussing ideas aloud. The content is flexible, but the key is consistent verbal practice while watching yourself in the mirror. The visual feedback you receive is invaluable. You notice subtle habits like lip movements, facial tension, or posture that affect your speech clarity. Observing yourself encourages adjustments that enhance your delivery. For example, relaxing your jaw or opening your mouth slightly wider can improve pronunciation. Straightening your posture supports better breathing and voice projection. These physical refinements directly impact how understandable and confident you sound. This habit also fosters emotional awareness. Seeing your own expressions while speaking helps you connect feelings with words. You learn to match tone and emotion, making your speech more engaging and sincere. Practicing facial expressions alongside words prepares you for real conversations where nonverbal cues are essential for connection. Speaking in front of a mirror builds courage by removing the fear of judgment. It is a safe, private environment to experiment with new words, phrases, and sounds. You can try different ways of saying things without pressure or interruption. This freedom encourages risk-taking, which is vital for language growth. The more you practice confidently alone, the easier it becomes to transfer that confidence into social situations. Set aside a dedicated time each morning for this practice. Even 5 to 10 focused minutes create meaningful progress over time. Consistency is more important than duration. Making it a non-negotiable part of your routine builds discipline and signals commitment to your language goals. To deepen the practice, record your mirror sessions occasionally. Listening back reveals details your eyes might miss. You can identify mispronunciations, pacing issues, or unclear phrasing, and plan focused improvements. Recording also documents your progress, providing motivation when you hear how far you've come. Use positive affirmations during your mirror practice to strengthen mindset alongside skill. Phrases like, "I speak clearly and confidently," or "My English improves every day," reinforce belief in your ability. This combination of technical practice and mental encouragement builds resilience and a growth mindset. Challenge yourself, progressive. Start with simple greetings and self-introductions, then advance to describing daily activities or expressing opinions. This gradual increase in complexity stretches your abilities while keeping frustration low. Each new topic offers opportunities to apply vocabulary and grammar you are learning. Observe your mouth and tongue movements closely. Articulation is a key factor in speaking clearly. Deliberate, slow practice of challenging sounds or words improves muscle memory. Over time, these improvements become automatic, making your speech smoother and easier to understand. Mirror practice also trains eye contact skills indirectly. Maintaining steady gaze with your reflection simulates looking at a conversation partner. This practice reduces shyness and helps develop natural confidence in real interaction. You become accustomed to engaging visually while speaking, enhancing connection and presence. Incorporate gestures and hand movements during your mirror sessions. Using your body to express ideas supports clearer communication and helps organize your thoughts. It also makes speaking more dynamic and enjoyable, which boosts motivation to continue practicing. Pay attention to breathing during practice. Deep, controlled breaths support stronger voice projection and reduce nervousness. Practicing proper breathing while speaking in front of a mirror builds vocal stamina and calmness. Use a mirror in a quiet, comfortable space where you can focus fully without distractions. Creating a dedicated environment signals to your brain the importance of this practice. Over time, this routine becomes a cherished moment of self-investment and growth. Keep a journal alongside your mirror practice. Note new words, phrases, or pronunciation points you worked on. Reflect on your feelings during each session and record improvements or challenges. This written record complements your verbal practice and reinforces learning. Share your mirror practice experience with a teacher or language partner. Occasionally, discussing what you've noticed or found difficult can lead to targeted advice and encouragement. External support enriches your practice and keeps you accountable. Be patient and kind to yourself during this process. Progress in speaking skills takes time and effort. Celebrate small victories like clearer pronunciation, more fluid speech, or increased comfort in front of the mirror. These milestones build momentum and keep motivation alive. Avoid comparing yourself to others. Your mirror practice is personal and unique to your journey. Focus on your growth rather than external standards. This mindset fosters self-acceptance and reduces anxiety, creating a fertile ground for improvement. Experiment with different speaking styles during your mirror sessions. Try formal speech, casual conversation, storytelling, or persuasive language. This variety broadens your range and prepares you for diverse real-life speaking situations. Use your reflection to practice smiling and expressing warmth through your voice and face. Friendly expressions make your speech more inviting and improve listener engagement. Developing this skill enhances your overall communication effectiveness. Integrate mirror speaking into your overall learning plan. Combine it with listening, reading, and real conversations for balanced development. The confidence and clarity gained from mirror practice support all other areas of language use. Eventually, mirror practice builds a deep sense of ownership over your speaking skills. You develop the habit of self-correction, self-encouragement, and continuous improvement. This independence empowers you to keep advancing long after formal lessons end. Practicing speaking in front of a mirror each morning is a simple yet transformative habit. It strengthens your voice, sharpens your awareness, and builds the courage needed for real-world communication. By dedicating time every day to this focused practice, you lay a solid foundation for confident and clear English speaking. Over time, this habit becomes a source of pride, resilience, and lasting progress on your language journey. Chapter 15. Learn English phrases instead of isolated single words. Learning English phrases instead of isolated single words is a highly effective strategy for developing natural, fluent speaking skills. When you focus on phrases, you absorb chunks of language that native speakers use regularly, which helps you sound more authentic and communicate more smoothly. Phrases provide context and show how words fit together, which is crucial for mastering grammar and usage naturally. This approach reduces the burden of memorizing countless individual words and instead builds your ability to express ideas clearly and confidently in real conversations. Focusing on phrases allows you to understand how words combine to create meaning beyond their dictionary definitions. For example, learning the phrase "make a decision" teaches you how verbs and nouns work together in a way that sounds natural to English speakers. This helps you avoid awkward or incorrect word combinations, leading to clearer communication. Using phrases also accelerates comprehension because your brain recognizes familiar patterns rather than piecing together single words one by one. Start by collecting common, useful phrases related to everyday situations, such as greetings, ordering food, asking for directions, or expressing opinions. These ready-made expressions serve as building blocks for real-life conversation. Practicing these phrases repeatedly helps you internalize them so they become automatic responses rather than something you have to construct on the spot. When you learn a new phrase, take time to understand its meaning, pronunciation, and appropriate context. Notice if it is formal or informal, used in questions or statements, or paired with certain prepositions or verbs. This detailed knowledge ensures you use phrases accurately and appropriately, which is vital for clear communication. Practice speaking phrases aloud regularly. Repetition is key to transferring phrases from passive recognition into active use. Saying phrases with correct intonation and stress patterns trains your mouth and brain to work together, producing more natural speech. Over time, this practice helps you speak more fluidly and confidently. Incorporate phrases into your daily conversations whenever possible. Look for chances to substitute single words with whole phrases. For example, instead of saying "I want," use "I would like" or "I am interested in." These fuller expressions sound more polite and natural, improving how others perceive your English. Using phrases also supports vocabulary expansion. As you learn one phrase, you often encounter related expressions and synonyms. This network of connected language helps you understand subtle differences in meaning and style, enriching your communication skills. When reading or listening to English, pay attention to phrases rather than just individual words. Highlight or write down expressions you find useful or interesting. Reviewing and practicing these phrases strengthens your language foundation and prepares you for real interactions. Avoid translating phrases word for word from your native language. Instead, focus on learning English phrases as whole units. Direct translation often leads to unnatural or innuent speech. Thinking in English phrases helps you develop a more native-like flow and reduces mental translation during conversation. Use flashcards, apps, or language journals to organize and review phrases regularly. Grouping phrases by theme or function makes studying more efficient and meaningful. Regular review prevents forgetting and keeps your language active. Try creating your own sentences using the phrases you learn. This active use reinforces understanding and helps you personalize the language. The more you connect phrases to your own experiences, the more naturally they come to mind when speaking. Engage with native English content, such as movies, podcasts, or conversations, to hear phrases in real context. Mimicking these phrases aloud improves pronunciation and rhythm. Exposure to authentic speech patterns deepens your intuitive grasp of how phrases function in daily communication. Learning phrases rather than isolated words also enhances your listening skills. You become better at recognizing expressions and their meanings quickly, which improves overall comprehension. This skill is essential for keeping up with fast, natural conversations. When you encounter unfamiliar phrases, break them down to understand their parts and meaning. Look up individual words, if needed, but focus on how the phrase works as a whole. This analysis strengthens your grammar and vocabulary simultaneously. Using phrases helps reduce hesitation in speech. Having ready-made expressions at your disposal speeds up your response time and lowers anxiety. This ease encourages you to participate more actively in conversations and practice more often. Practicing phrases aloud in front of a mirror or recording yourself can reveal areas for improvement in pronunciation or intonation. Listening to yourself helps identify patterns that sound unnatural or unclear, guiding targeted corrections. Don't hesitate to ask teachers or language partners about phrases that confuse you. Clarifying meaning and usage prevents misunderstandings and builds confidence. Discussing phrases also deepens your insight into cultural and social nuances of English. Incorporate phrases into writing exercises as well. Writing sentences or short paragraphs using new expressions reinforces your command of them and builds overall language skills. Celebrate progress when you successfully use new phrases in conversation. Recognize that mastering phrases is a significant step toward fluency and natural communication. This positive reinforcement motivates continued learning. Remember that language learning is a gradual process. Consistently practicing phrases every day builds strong habits and steady improvement. Over time, your speaking becomes more fluid, expressive, and native-like. Learning English through phrases shifts your mindset from memorizing isolated facts to understanding language as a living, dynamic tool for communication. This perspective makes learning more meaningful and enjoyable. Approach phrase learning with curiosity and openness. Explore different styles, levels of formality, and regional variations. This exploration enhances your adaptability and cultural awareness. By focusing on phrases instead of single words, you build a practical, usable vocabulary that supports confident speaking. Your speech gains rhythm, clarity, and naturalness. Stay committed to this approach and integrate it with other language skills like listening, reading, and writing for a balanced learning experience. This holistic practice accelerates your journey to English proficiency. Using phrases actively empowers you to express yourself fully and authentically in English. It transforms learning from a task into a creative, engaging process. Keep practicing phrases daily and watch your English speaking skills grow stronger every day. Chapter 16. Celebrate small wins to stay motivated and consistent. Celebrating small wins is a fundamental practice that fuels motivation and consistency when improving your English speaking skills. Often, the journey to fluency feels long and challenging, and focusing only on the ultimate goal can lead to discouragement. Acknowledging even the smallest progress shifts your mindset from frustration to encouragement. This habit creates positive reinforcement, making learning feel rewarding and inspiring you to keep going every day. Small victories can be as simple as pronouncing a difficult word correctly, remembering a new phrase, or successfully joining a conversation. Each of these moments signals growth and deserves recognition. When you consciously celebrate these achievements, you create a positive emotional connection to your learning process. This connection strengthens your commitment and builds momentum that carries you through harder stages. Taking time to celebrate progress helps combat negative self-talk and impatience. Language learning involves setbacks and plateaus, but focusing on small successes keeps your confidence intact. It reminds you that growth is happening even if it feels slow. This balanced perspective sustains your energy and keeps discouragement at bay. To make celebrate effective, set clear, achievable milestones for your English speaking practice. These goals can be daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on your pace. For example, mastering 10 new phrases in a week or speaking for 5 minutes without hesitation can be meaningful targets. When you meet these goals, pause and appreciate the effort you invested. Celebrate in ways that feel meaningful to you. This might be writing down your achievements in a journal, sharing your progress with a supportive friend, or simply giving yourself a moment of gratitude. Physical gestures like a smile, a fist pump, or a short break to enjoy something you love can reinforce positive feeling. Making celebrations intentional strengthens their impact on your motivation. Tracking your wins visually adds another layer of encouragement. Use charts, checklists, or apps to record completed tasks or improvements. Seeing a growing list of accomplishments builds pride and inspires you to maintain your streak. Visual progress is a powerful reminder of how far you've come, especially on days when motivation wanes. Celebrate the process, not just the result. Recognize your consistency in practicing, your effort to speak despite fear, or your willingness to try new methods. These qualities reflect your commitment and resilience, which are vital for long-term success. Praising yourself for dedication encourages you to develop habits that lead to continuous improvement. Sharing your wins with others builds community and accountability. Positive feedback from friends, teachers, or fellow learners boosts your enthusiasm. When you celebrate together, motivation multiplies and you gain emotional support. This social connection makes your language journey more enjoyable and sustainable. Use celebrations to reinforce positive habits. For instance, reward yourself after completing a daily speaking practice or successfully using a new phrase in conversation. This reward system conditions your brain to associate language learning with pleasure. Over time, these habits become self-sustaining and automatic. Reflect on your progress regularly. Spend time reviewing what you've achieved and how you've overcome challenges. Reflection deepens your awareness and appreciation of your journey. It also highlights areas for further growth, keeping your learning focused and purposeful. Avoid minimizing your achievements or waiting for big milestones to celebrate. Every step forward contributes to your fluency. By valuing small wins, you create a positive cycle of motivation that supports steady progress. Incorporate gratitude into your celebrations. Acknowledge your effort, patience, and courage. Gratitude nurtures a healthy mindset and reduces frustration. This mental state enhances your ability to absorb new knowledge and adapt to challenges. Stay mindful of the connection between celebration and self-belief. Recognizing your capabilities reinforces confidence. Confidence in turn makes speaking English easier and more enjoyable. This positive feedback loop propels your language skills upward. When motivation dips, revisit your list of small wins to remind yourself of your competence and dedication. This practice rekindles enthusiasm and helps you overcome obstacles. Maintaining motivation is crucial for consistent practice, which ultimately leads to mastery. Use celebrations to cultivate joy in learning. Approaching English speaking with a playful and appreciative attitude reduces stress and enhances creativity. Enjoyment sustains long-term engagement and prevents burnout. Keep your celebrations aligned with your values and goals. This alignment ensures that rewards are meaningful and support your overall growth. Personalized celebrations deepen your connection to the learning process and encourage perseverance. Celebrate the courage it takes to speak English, especially if you face fears or doubts. Acknowledge your bravery and willingness to step outside your comfort zone. This recognition empowers you to continue facing challenges with resilience. Integrate celebrations into your daily routine to create positive habits. For example, start or end each practice session by noting a success. This ritual sets a constructive tone and reinforces your commitment. Use your celebrations as motivation to set new challenges. After acknowledging a win, identify the next achievable goal. This forward momentum keeps your learning dynamic and prevents stagnation. Remember that every small win builds a foundation for larger achievements. Consistency fueled by celebration turns gradual improvements into lasting fluency. Patience combined with positive reinforcement is a powerful formula for success. Embrace the idea that language learning is a journey filled with many milestones. Each win, no matter how small, is a sign of progress and growth. Celebrating these moments honors your effort and inspires ongoing development. Celebrate not only what you achieve, but also the process of becoming a confident English speaker. This holistic approach nurtures self-love and encourages lifelong learning. By consistently recognizing and celebrating your small wins, you cultivate a motivated, resilient, and joyful mindset. This mindset is the secret ingredient that transforms English speaking from a challenge into a rewarding, fulfilling adventure. Keep celebrating and watch your skills and confidence soar steadily forward. Chapter 17. Create an English-only environment for real progress. Creating an English-only environment is one of the most effective ways to accelerate your English-speaking skills and experience real progress. Immersing yourself fully in English pushes your mind to think, understand, and respond in the language continuously. This constant exposure forces your brain to adapt and build new neural pathways, making English speaking more natural and automatic over time. When your surroundings prioritize English, you break free from the habit of relying on your native language, which often limits fluency and confidence. To establish an English-only environment, start by surrounding yourself with English materials and communication throughout your day. Change the language settings on your phone, computer, and social media accounts to English. This simple action creates frequent moments where you engage with the language effortlessly. Seeing words and instructions in English daily familiarizes you with vocabulary and sentence structures without conscious effort. Fill your home or personal space with English content, such as books, magazines, podcasts, and videos. Choose materials that interest you and are appropriate for your level. Engaging with enjoyable content boosts motivation and helps you learn naturally. Listening to English radio or podcasts while cooking, cleaning, or commuting exposes you to different accents, intonations, and speaking speeds, strengthening your listening skills and helping your brain process English in real time. Practice thinking and talking to yourself in English during routine activities. Narrate your actions or describe your surroundings silently or aloud. This habit integrates English into your everyday life and encourages mental fluency. For example, when making coffee, think or say aloud, "I am pouring hot water," or "I need a spoon to stir." These small exercises reinforce sentence construction and vocabulary in practical context. Create boundaries around when and where you use your native language to encourage English immersion. For instance, designate certain times of the day or specific rooms in your home where only English is spoken. This focused environment reduces distractions and strengthens language habit. You might set a rule to speak only English during meals or study sessions. The more you practice sustained periods of English-only communication, the faster your speaking skills improve. Seek out opportunities to interact with English speakers regularly. Join language clubs, attend meetups, or participate in online forums and chat groups. Real conversations in English force you to think on your feet and apply what you've learned. Engaging with diverse speakers exposes you to new expressions and cultural nuances, enriching your understanding and making your speech more authentic. Use technology to your advantage by interacting with virtual assistants, language apps, or chatbots in English. These tools provide safe spaces to practice speaking and receive instant feedback. Consistent use keeps your skills sharp and provides variety in your practice. Label objects around your home with their English name. This visual cue reminds you of vocabulary constantly and reinforces memory through repeat exposure. Seeing and naming items like door, window, or refrigerator daily connects words to real objects, solidifying learning. Replace habitual phrases from your native language with English equivalents. For example, practice greeting family members with good morning or saying thank you instead of your native expressions. These small substitutions train your mouth and brain to favor English in everyday communication. Create a dedicated English-speaking time with family or friends who are also learning. During this period, all conversations should happen in English, providing supportive practice. This group accountability motivates you to maintain the English-only environment and practice without fear of judgment. Focus on creating positive associations with the English-only environment. Incorporate activities you enjoy, like watching favorite movies, listening to music, or reading stories in English. When learning feels enjoyable and meaningful, you stay engaged and committed. Make mistakes freely within your English environment. Accepting errors as part of the learning process reduces anxiety and encourages risk-taking. The more you speak without fear, the faster your fluency develops. Set realistic expectations and be patient as you adjust to an English-only environment. The transition can feel challenging initially, but persistence leads to breakthrough moments. Celebrate small victories like understanding a full conversation or expressing a complex idea clearly. Regularly assess your progress to stay motivated. Notice improvements in your comprehension, pronunciation, and confidence. Tracking growth reinforces the value of your English-only environment and inspires continued effort. Customize your environment to suit your learning style and goals. If you prefer visual learning, include posters with English vocabulary or grammar tips. If you learn better through audio, create playlists of English lessons or podcasts. Tailoring your environment makes learning more efficient and enjoyable. Limit distractions and multitasking during English practice. Focused attention enhances retention. Designate quiet times for reading, speaking, or listening exercises to maximize effectiveness. Incorporate English in practical tasks like writing shopping lists, setting reminders, or journaling. Using the language functionally deepens your connection to it and increases vocabulary relevant to your daily life. Use English-only social media groups or pages that align with your interests. Participating in discussions exposes you to conversational English in informal, real-world settings. This exposure improves comprehension and introduces slang, idioms, and contemporary expressions. Create a feedback loop by recording yourself speaking in your English-only environment. Listen critically to identify areas for improvement and celebrate successes. Self-monitoring accelerates learning and builds self-awareness. Practice mindfulness to stay present during English immersion. Paying close attention to your thoughts and speech helps you correct mistakes and refine pronunciation in the moment. Mindful practice deepens learning and cultivates discipline. Avoid switching between languages frequently, as it interrupts cognitive flow and slows language acquisition. Commit to speaking, thinking, and listening in English during your designated immersion periods to build stronger neural connections. Use motivational reminders like quotes or personal goals displayed in your environment. These visual cues reinforce your commitment and inspire perseverance through challenges. Engage with English culture through films, music, literature, and history. Cultural understanding enriches your language skills and makes your English more meaningful and relatable. Involve your household or social circle in your English-only environment. Encourage others to join you or support your learning efforts. Shared commitment creates a positive atmosphere and accountability. Stay flexible and adjust your environment as your skills grow. Increase complexity of materials, engage in longer conversations, and explore different English dialects. This adaptation keeps your learning dynamic and challenging. Recognize that creating an English-only environment is a deliberate, ongoing process. It requires effort and discipline but yields profound results. The immersive nature of this environment accelerates your speaking ability beyond traditional study methods. By fully embracing an English-only environment, you develop fluency, confidence, and deeper connection to the language. Your mind learns to operate in English naturally, making speaking feel effortless. This immersion transforms your learning journey into a living experience where progress is continuous and real. Chapter 18. Stay patient and kind with your daily speaking journey. Learning to speak English well takes time, effort, and consistent practice, but most importantly, it requires patience and kindness toward yourself. Progress rarely follows a straight line, and it is natural to face challenges, moments of doubt, and setbacks along the way. Treating yourself with compassion during this journey is not just comforting, it is essential for long-term growth and success. When you approach your daily speaking practice with patience, you create space to learn without pressure, allowing skills to develop steadily and naturally. Patience means accepting that mastery does not come overnight. Speaking a new language fluently involves rewiring how your brain processes sounds, words, and sentence structures. This adaptation takes time. Instead of rushing toward perfection, embrace gradual improvement. Every small step forward adds up, even if it feels slow or invisible at times. Trusting this process fosters resilience, helping you maintain motivation despite obstacles. Kindness toward yourself softens the frustration that arises when you make mistakes or struggle with pronunciation or grammar. Instead of harsh criticism, choose to encourage yourself as you would a close friend, learning alongside you. A gentle inner dialogue creates a positive mindset that fuels persistence rather than discouragement. This supportive attitude improves your confidence and willingness to take risks, both vital for language development. Recognizing that everyone's learning journey is unique helps you avoid unhealthy comparisons with others. Some may pick up English quickly, while others take longer. What matters most is your own steady progress and dedication. Celebrate your personal milestones without judgment or impatience. This mindset shifts your focus from perfection to progress, making practice more enjoyable and sustainable. Daily speaking practice becomes more effective when you allow yourself room for imperfection. Speaking without fear of making mistakes encourages experimentation and creativity. When you speak freely, you open doors to new expressions and vocabulary that rigid, error-avoidant approaches block. Accept errors as valuable feedback and opportunities to improve rather than as failures. Consistency is more important than speed. Even short, daily sessions build momentum over time. Be patient with the pace and trust that persistent effort will yield noticeable results. Patience keeps you grounded and prevents burnout, while kindness maintains your enthusiasm and energy. Mindfulness can help cultivate patience and kindness in your learning. Pay close attention to your thoughts and feelings during practice. Notice when impatience or self-judgment arises, then consciously redirect your mindset to acceptance and encouragement. This awareness strengthens your emotional resilience and helps you stay centered on your goals. Set realistic expectations that reflect your current skills and lifestyle. Avoid overwhelming yourself with overly ambitious targets that increase pressure and frustration. Break larger goals into manageable steps and appreciate completing each one. This approach reinforces a sense of achievement and keeps your motivation steady. Find joy in the small successes that mark your daily speaking journey. Whether it is successfully ordering food, sharing a story, or understanding a new phrase, each moment is a victory worth recognizing. Patience allows you to savor these wins without rushing toward the next milestone. Surround yourself with positive influences that support your kindness toward yourself. Seek encouraging teachers, understanding language partners, or supportive friends who celebrate your efforts and progress. Positive social connections uplift your spirit and provide emotional safety for taking language risks. Practice self-care alongside your speaking practice. Physical rest, healthy nutrition, and stress management enhance your cognitive abilities and emotional well-being. A well-cared-for mind and body learn more efficiently and sustain motivation longer. Kindness extends beyond language practice to caring for your whole self. Reflect regularly on how far you have come instead of focusing only on what remains to be done. Journaling your thoughts, recording your spoken progress, or reviewing past conversations highlight your improvement and build self-esteem. Reflection reinforces patience by showing that growth is happening even when it feels slow. Accept that plateaus and slow phases are natural parts of learning. When progress seems stalled, patience prevents discouragement, and kindness helps you maintain consistent practice. These phases prepare your brain for future leaps forward. When faced with difficulties, remind yourself that persistence is a form of kindness. Every time you return to practice, despite challenges, you honor your commitment and invest in your future fluency. This self-respect strengthens your determination. Replace negative self-talk with affirmations that promote patience and kindness. Phrases like, "I am making progress every day," "Mistakes help me learn," or "I am patient with my growth" rewire your mindset and support positive emotions. Positive affirmations build confidence and encourage a healthy relationship with your language learning. Allow yourself breaks when needed. Pausing practice briefly to recharge is a kind act that prevents burnout and sustains motivation. During breaks, focus on relaxation or other enjoyable activities that replenish your energy. Visualize your future fluent self as a way to inspire patience today. Picture yourself speaking English confidently, engaging in conversations, and expressing your thoughts freely. This vision anchors your effort and reminds you that patience is an investment in a rewarding outcome. Practice gratitude for the opportunity to learn English and the progress you have achieved. Gratitude nurtures a peaceful mind and reduces frustration. It shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present, fueling motivation. Remember that language learning is more than acquiring a skill. It is a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Patience and kindness deepen this experience, allowing you to develop resilience, humility, and confidence beyond language alone. Approach each speaking opportunity as a chance to practice patience and kindness. If conversations feel challenging or intimidating, acknowledge your courage for trying. Celebrating effort over outcome encourages continual engagement. Be mindful of your body during speaking practice. Relax your shoulders, breathe deeply, and speak slowly when needed. Physical relaxation supports mental calmness and enhances patience. Use setbacks as lessons rather than reasons to quit. Analyze what went wrong. Adjust your approach and return with renewed kindness toward yourself. This problem-solving mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Surround your daily routine with reminders to stay patient and kind. Notes, alarms, or inspirational quotes can bring your focus back to these values whenever stress arises. Engage in activities that cultivate patience, such as meditation, yoga, or mindful walking. These practices train your mind to remain calm and centered, qualities that transfer to your language learning journey. Remember that every expert was once a beginner. Patiently nurturing your skills today sets the foundation for future mastery. Celebrate the bravery it takes to start and continue despite difficulties. Ultimately, kindness and patience in your daily speaking journey build a sustainable, joyful relationship with English. This attitude transforms challenges into opportunities and turns learning into a rewarding adventure that enriches your life deeply and continuously. Chapter 19. Find a speaking partner who challenges and supports you. Finding a speaking partner who both challenges and supports you is a powerful step in advancing your English speaking skills. Language learning can feel isolating when done alone, but a partner creates a dynamic environment where growth happens faster and more deeply. This relationship balances encouragement with constructive feedback, pushing you to stretch beyond your comfort zone while offering the reassurance you need to keep moving forward. The right partner acts like a mirror, reflecting your progress and an engine driving you toward greater fluency. Choosing someone who challenges you means seeking a partner who motivates you to improve. They should encourage you to try new vocabulary, experiment with different sentence structures, and practice speaking in varied contexts. A good partner will not settle for easy conversations, but will introduce topics and expressions that stretch your abilities. This challenge forces your brain to adapt and develop new skills rather than staying stuck in familiar patterns. When you consistently face these challenges, your English speaking becomes more flexible and confident. At the same time, support is crucial. A partner who supports you understands the ups and downs of language learning. They celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and provide a safe space to make mistakes without judgment. This emotional safety encourages risk-taking, which is essential for growth. When you feel supported, you are more likely to speak openly and frequently, gaining valuable practice that accelerates your progress. This balance between challenge and support keeps your motivation high and reduces anxiety about speaking. To find the right partner, consider your goals and learning style. If you prefer formal practice, look for someone interested in structured conversation sessions with clear objectives. If you enjoy casual chatting, a friendly conversation partner might be ideal. Match with someone who shares your commitment to improvement and respects your pace. Compatibility matters because a positive connection fosters enjoyable, consistent practice. Use available resources to find partner. Language exchange websites, social media groups, and local meetups offer platforms to connect with learners and native speakers. When choosing, seek individuals who are reliable, communicative, and willing to provide honest feedback. Initial conversations can help assess compatibility. Be upfront about your goals and the type of practice you want. Once you establish a partnership, set clear expectations. Decide on the frequency, duration, and format of your sessions. Agree on the balance between casual and challenging conversation. Setting guidelines helps both partners prepare and make the most of practice time. Consistency is key, so creating a schedule increases accountability and ensures regular speaking practice. During conversations, actively listen to your partner and engage fully. Respond thoughtfully and ask questions to deepen dialogue. This interaction develops your comprehension and spontaneous speaking abilities. When your partner introduces new words or expressions, note them for review and practice. Use your sessions as opportunities to apply new language actively rather than passively absorbing information. Encourage your partner to correct your mistakes kindly and specifically. Feedback is essential for improvement, but should be delivered constructively to avoid discouragement. Discuss preferred correction methods, whether immediate or after the conversation, and focus on areas that matter most to you. This collaborative approach makes feedback productive and less intimidating. Offer the same level of support to your partner. Share encouragement, celebrate their progress, and provide thoughtful feedback. Mutual support strengthens the partnership and creates a positive learning environment. Teaching or explaining concepts to your partner also reinforces your own understanding. Incorporate a variety of speaking activities to keep sessions engaging. role-playing real-life situations, debating topics, storytelling, or practicing presentations add diversity and practical application. These activities challenge you to use English in different ways, improving fluency and confidence. Track your progress together by reflecting on what you've learned after each session. Identify improvements, challenges, and areas to focus on next time. This reflection deepens awareness and helps tailor future practice to your evolving needs. Use technology to facilitate your partnership. Video calls, voice messages, and chat apps enable flexible communication regardless of distance. Recording conversations can also help you review and identify areas for improvement. Leverage these tools to maintain connection and practice quality. Be patient with the partnership's development. Building trust and effective communication takes time. Early sessions may feel awkward or slow, but persistence leads to comfort and deeper learning. Celebrate small milestones, such as successfully discussing a difficult topic or using a new phrase correctly. Manage expectations around mistakes and setbacks. Both you and your partner will face challenges, and progress may fluctuate. Supporting each other through these moments reinforces resilience and commitment. Remember that mistakes are part of learning, not signs of failure. Stay open to feedback about the partnership itself. If certain approaches or schedules are not working, discuss changes honestly and respectfully. A flexible, communicative partnership adapts to meet both partners' needs and maximizes effectiveness. Expand your network by meeting multiple speaking partners over time. Each person offers unique perspectives, accents, and language styles. Exposure to this variety enriches your skills and prepares you for real-world interactions with diverse English speakers. Maintain enthusiasm by mixing speaking practice with other language learning activities. Reading, listening, and writing complement speaking and provide content for conversation topics. Share these experiences with your partner to deepen your connection and practice. Recognize the emotional benefits of a supportive speaking partner. Sharing your struggles and successes with someone who understands reduces loneliness and builds confidence. This social aspect of language learning promotes sustained engagement. Set personal challenges with your partner, such as preparing for a speech, participating in a debate, or joining an English event together. These goals create excitement and a sense of achievement beyond regular practice. Practice kindness and empathy within the partnership. Respect each other's backgrounds, learning styles, and vulnerabilities. A compassionate atmosphere enhances trust and openness. Celebrate your progress together regularly. Recognize how far you have come since you started working together. These celebrations reinforce motivation and the value of your partnership. Understand that the relationship between you and your speaking partner reflects your overall attitude toward learning. Cultivating respect, curiosity, and patience creates a rich environment where language skills flourish. Approach your partnership as a journey of mutual growth rather than a task. This mindset shifts focus from results alone to the experience of learning, making practice more fulfilling. Commit to being honest about your needs and challenges. Transparency fosters deeper connection and effective support. Recognize that your speaking partner is both a teacher and a learner. Valuing this reciprocity promotes humility and continuous learning. Use your partnership to build cultural awareness. Discuss customs, traditions, and perspectives to deepen your understanding of English-speaking communities. Let your partnership inspire you to speak more boldly and authentically. Knowing someone believes in your potential encourages you to take risks and express yourself fully. By finding and nurturing a speaking partner who challenges and supports you, you transform your English learning from a solitary effort into a shared adventure. This relationship accelerates your progress, deepens your understanding, and sustains your motivation, turning your goal of fluent English speaking into a living reality. Chapter 20. Trust your voice and speak with growing self-belief. Speaking English with confidence requires more than mastering vocabulary and grammar. It demands trusting your own voice and cultivating genuine self-belief. This trust forms the foundation upon which fluent, natural communication is built. When you believe in your ability to express yourself clearly, you break free from hesitation, doubt, and fear. Your voice becomes a tool for connection, influence, and personal growth. Developing this trust is a gradual process that involves consistent practice, positive mindset shifts, and embracing your unique journey. The first step to trusting your voice is recognizing that your thoughts and opinions matter. You have valuable ideas worth sharing regardless of your current skill level. When you accept this truth, you give yourself permission to speak up and participate fully. This mindset shift moves you from self-criticism to self-acceptance. It reminds you that perfection is not the goal. Communication and expression are. Building self-belief starts with daily affirmations and intentional encouragement. Remind yourself regularly that progress is happening, that mistakes are learning opportunities, and that confidence grows through action. Positive self-talk rewires your brain to expect success rather than failure, fostering resilience and motivation. When your inner dialogue supports you, your voice naturally becomes stronger and clearer. Consistent practice plays a critical role in gaining trust in your voice. Every time you speak, you exercise your ability and gain experience. These repeated actions build muscle memory, reduce anxiety, and increase clarity. Speaking out loud, even if only to yourself, creates familiarity and comfort with your own sound. Over time, this comfort blossoms into confident expression. It is important to embrace vulnerability as part of trusting your voice. Opening yourself to mistakes and imperfections allows you to learn and grow. Vulnerability shows courage, not weakness, and invites authentic connection. When you accept that everyone struggles sometimes, you release the burden of unrealistic expectations and free your voice to flow naturally. Listening to yourself objectively can deepen trust. Recording and playing back your speech reveals your strengths and highlights areas for improvement. This practice demystifies your voice and helps you develop a clearer, more authentic tone. Celebrate the qualities that make your voice unique while refining pronunciation and intonation gradually. Surround yourself with positive influences who affirm your voice and support your journey. Encouraging teachers, friends, or language partners boost your confidence and provide constructive feedback. Their belief in you reinforces your own self-belief. Avoid environments or people who discourage or judge harshly, as these drain your motivation and silence your voice. Focus on your progress rather than comparing yourself to others. Everyone develops speaking skills at their own pace. Measuring growth by personal milestones strengthens your trust in your voice. Recognize moments when you speak more fluidly, understand conversations better, or express ideas more clearly. These successes build a foundation of confidence. Visualize speaking English confidently in various situations. Imagine yourself articulating thoughts effortlessly, engaging in conversations with ease, and feeling calm and collected. Visualization creates a mental blueprint that your brain works to realize. This mental rehearsal primes your confidence and reduces anxiety in real interaction. Develop a habit of speaking deliberately and with intention. Slow down your speech when needed to focus on clarity and accuracy. This mindful approach demonstrates respect for your voice and the listener. It signals that you value effective communication and builds trust in your ability to control your expression. Recognize the power of body language and posture in supporting your voice. Standing or sitting upright, making eye contact, and using open gestures enhance your presence and reinforce self-belief. Physical confidence supports vocal confidence, creating a cohesive communication style. Practice handling challenging speaking situations with preparedness. Preparing topics, phrases, or questions in advance reduces fear and builds certainty. When you approach conversations armed with tools and strategies, your voice becomes more assured and commanding. Learn to accept and appreciate your accent as part of your unique voice. An accent reflects your cultural identity and adds richness to your communication. Trying to erase it completely can undermine self-trust. Instead, focus on clarity and expressiveness while honoring your individuality. Celebrate every speaking opportunity as a chance to practice trust in your voice. Whether speaking with friends, participating in meetings, or making phone calls, treat each moment as valuable experience. This perspective builds momentum and reinforces your commitment to growth. Use feedback constructively. When others offer suggestions, view them as gifts that help you refine your voice, not as criticisms. An open mind accelerates improvement and builds confidence in your ability to adapt and learn. Cultivate patience with yourself during setbacks or moments of insecurity. Trust develops over time and through repeated efforts. When doubt arises, acknowledge it without judgment and gently redirect your focus to your goals and strengths. Engage in activities that nurture your voice, such as reading aloud, singing, or public speaking clubs. These practices strengthen vocal control and deepen your connection to your voice. Remind yourself that your voice is a reflection of your inner self and experiences. Speaking authentically strengthens your identity and presence in any language. Recognize that trust in your voice extends beyond English. It builds overall communication skills and self-expression in all areas of life. Commit to speaking regularly, even when you feel uncertain. Action builds trust faster than waiting for confidence to appear. Surround your daily routine with reminders of your progress and potential. Notes, recordings, or motivational quotes serve as anchors of self-belief. Embrace the journey of trusting your voice as a continuous process. Each conversation, practice session, and interaction deepens your confidence and fluency. Trusting your voice unlocks freedom. It allows you to express thoughts clearly, connect with others deeply, and pursue opportunities without hesitation. By nurturing self-belief and honoring your unique voice, you transform English speaking from a challenge into a source of personal power and joy. This trust shapes not just your language skills, but your entire approach to communication and life.